Please excuse the delay this evening. I've been having some technical difficulties. Imagine that. Me, little old me, technical difficulties. It's unheard of. I know. Still haven't. Yeah, got some things going on here with my system. So and I don't have my mic that I like. That's just for some reason just not showing up. So, thanks for joining me on this Saturday night. Great group of people so far. Um, Thanks for being here, and I hope you're enjoying your Saturday. I have had a good day, been busy with work-related things, but it's been a good day. I woke up and I went through my day with my dog and connecting with my family and connecting with my world. And I mean, not a bad day when you think about it. A lot of people didn't wake up today. A lot of people, cheers everybody. A lot of people didn't make it. A lot of people been gone for a while. So kind of wonderful to, live our life, especially in this day and age. I mean, what I think something, and this, but I think something very special is happening. Now, I've always been an optimist, but it's also always served me in sports, in business, in movies, and you have to be because there are moments when you think there's no way I'm going to make it. There's no way this is going to get done. There's no way I'm going to make this win this game. There's no way I'm going to make this movie. And every stage, it doesn't matter, but the beginning, till the completion, there are many times when it just seems lost. It seems hopeless. You have problems, you have conflicts, you have things that get in the way, and you wonder, is this ever going to happen? But those are the times when you're like, hell yeah. It's going to happen. There's nothing that can stop me, and I'm going to keep going. And I may fail, but I'm certainly going to give it every effort I have. And and I, excuse me, I think that's the way we have to look at this world we're in right now. Are we ever going to see the change that we want for our country, for our family, for ourselves? And times sometimes get really difficult. And we need that optimism. We need that hope, the faith to carry us through. And so while I may err on the side of optimism over another, I'm glad I err on that side rather than err on the side of pessimism. Pessimistic people, folks, they're not changing the world. They're not inspiring people. They're the woe is me crowd. They're the black pillars. They're the ones that say, this government we've got is horrible. Democrats are horrible. All the Republicans are horrible. Trump is horrible. They're leading us into, a new world order, yada, yada, yada. Those people are not inspiring us to live better lives, to change the world around us. And so I think it's really important that we all err on the side of optimism. And yeah, Gary, good to see you, man. Thank you for that. keeping the faith and sharing the same. Joy says, please pray for my brother. He is battling acute leukemia. He is only 59 years old. Thank you. Joy, I'm so sorry to hear that. Dear Lord, please watch over this young man who has got leukemia, and bless he and his family and his doctors, and please find a way for him to live. Tragic, and yet there's a purpose under heaven for this, and help his family to realize that and to live on as well as him. And yeah, bless his soul. Thank you, God. And so sorry to hear that. Very much a lot of prayers up for your brother tonight. Thank you all who are sending those prayers. That's what I'm saying. You know, we've got, as difficult as our life may be, man, we've got a lot to be thankful for, don't we? You know, in gratitude and authenticity of that gratitude, amazing things can occur. And we're raising our vibration, we're raising our frequency, we're closer to our Creator when we're in those moments of gratitude and authenticity. And that's a very, very amazing thing. Rhonda, yes, this is real. For all of you who stayed on YouTube, who did you watch for freaking last 3 and 4 years? The channel I just got back, by the way, was 4 years ago. Okay. And that's Dave Snedeker. And thank you guys for getting us up over 11,000 subs, because I was close to 11,000. Yeah, for those of you who stayed on YouTube, what did you watch? Who did you follow? I'm very interested in just letting me know. I don't care if you've put down, you know, another podcast or anything. Yeah. Let me see. Let's see. Getting our theater back, Lisa. Yes. Whippensford, thank you, Dave, for your pure and genuine prayers. So beautifully spoken. Thank you very much for that. Darlene, I watched way back. Let's see. Wonder if I will get any of my band accounts back. You have to ask for it. I'll let you know that. You have to reach out and you basically challenge their finding, and then and then they either give it back to you or they don't. But I got mine back like within, gosh, I'd say 24 hours once I asked. For the one previous, it took a couple weeks. Yeah, so it's good to be back and good to be all kinds of good folks. How did they stay on YouTube? That's what I'm curious about. MJ Truth, Meredith, I follow on X. He's fantastic. Yeah. D, thank you for reposting the stream, folks. When you repost, do me a favor, tag somebody, tag a big influencer, tag somebody that you want to share this with, right? So let's see. Pam, quite frankly, Jan, Dave has been on Rumble and X. Yes, I have. Folks, over the past 3 years, if you didn't make the jump to Rumble, this is my channel over on Rumble. The IndoctriNATION, no space, the IndoctriNATION. It's rumble.com/user/the IndoctriNATION. If you look at my lives here, you got to click on the live button. You'll see I've been busy. 21 pages plus of, 4 to 5 shows a week, and been, walking through the comms. Thank you, Martha. I appreciate you. Nino, he's still got his YouTube channel. Yep. I've been watching you on Rumble for a while. Justice for Peanut. Good. Will Johnson, I'm not familiar with him. Amanda Grace and Joseph Z. TNC, no one. Horseface Simon Parks. I hope that's a joke. Sarah, it's been 3 to 4 years. It's been 4 years since I was off this channel. And then 3 years since I've been off. Oh man, I don't have my keyboard. This is the problem I've been having. This channel, no, it's not coming up. For some, here it is. This channel, David Snedeker, has got 6.7 thousand subscribers, and that was 3 years ago. So back before the Dave Snedeker channel, which is this one on YouTube, I would say I still have to get those channels back. I need to track those down. Jen, if you could please pray for my mother. She has dementia. Jen, have you looked into nicotine pouches or patches that you put between your shoulder blades? You can get them on Amazon. I get these at my local market. Yeah. I watched Timothy Shea and Patriots Uprising after you got kicked off. Hawk and Script Keeper, awesome. The David Snedeker channel is active. That's the that's the one. I'm not broadcasting to there yet. I tried to do it with my StreamYard. For some reason, it wasn't working. Jimmy Dore, interesting. Okay. The name of the music is let me pull it up. It's called The Art of Silence by Unique, UNIQ. The Art of Silence. Let's see. Nino 107, which I know you have some differences. Christy, who died, Street Fighter. Christy, who died. Oh, Kirsten. Was it Kirsten W? Rumble doesn't give me notifications now, no matter how many times I push the button. I'm sorry to hear that. Let's see. I tried to follow you, but I never could. I never got a notice. I know we put out emails. That's why. Please check the email. Who wants a donation challenge? Kevin, thank you. That would be awesome. Yeah, LA 1, Toronto 3, I think in like what, the 5th inning or something. But God, please watch over this lovely lady who's got dementia and all who are losing their memories. What a tragic thing, losing their lives. God bless them all. And I am so sorry for what you're going through. I know my mother had early symptoms of dementia, but she died before she didn't know any of us. So watch a lot of different podcasters. Let me see your hand in the chat if you want a donation challenge. Thank you, man. That's awesome. Let's see. And yeah, get your name on the wheel for a spin. Thank you, Moonbeam, for dropping that. Let's see. There you go. There's how you can support. the work I do, the 7 years, 1,400, over 1,400 shows. I've got to figure out exactly how many. At this point, I just kind of, I just kind of go by hundreds at this point. Yeah. So, remember when we used to say Trump was watching, Dave? Didn't it certainly feel like it? Either he or Dan Scavino. Those are pretty amazing days. We were getting a lot of comms that seemed to be very right alongside of ours. Yeah, Twitch. I lost the indoctrination on Twitch as well. Martha, Jaco, and Nino, Ward and Parks, RFB2. Let's see. Dave, don't you find it suspicious that Candace Owens never lost a channel or platform? Well, yes, I do. Anybody that didn't lose a YouTube channel definitely was not challenging the medical community over COVID, and that was the big one for me, as you know. Hawk was able to keep his channels because he didn't mention, the medical stuff. And a couple times he had me on a lot on his channel, and I lost a handful of channels of his because I would mention something about the vax. And I don't know if they're, cutting us off for that. Yeah, the D-Junction channel is up. That's got, I think, 1.7 thousand subscribers, but I'm not broadcasting there yet. That was Todd and Cindy, and we stopped doing shows together years ago. I'd say maybe 3 years ago. Magnesium spray on the soles of your feet and slip like a baby. I know that's really good stuff. I never thought about putting it on the soles of the feet. That's pretty cool. George, I haven't watched anyone that talks about Q. Guys, what do you think about Q? Like, it's been a long time, but are you seeing the things that we were talking about many, many years ago and the things that Q is talking about? Scott McKay. Okay, Catherine, good stuff. I don't know what happened to Charlie Freak. JL, Dave is the only show I watch on Fumble. Fumble, I like that. Praying for your mother as well, Jen. Yes, please give prayers up for Jen's mom. So let's see. Haven't come across anyone that touches that topic. Sometimes Phil Godlewski, he was Mr. Outside Comms, Mr. I'm a part of the system. Bad news, folks. And I've said it's not the awakening. We know when the awakening will come, when people stop watching people like Godlewski. Wow, Kev, thanks, brother. My donation challenge for tonight, I will match $10 for the first 25 donations. So that's awesome, Kevin. Thank you. So if you put in $10, it's like putting in 20 because Kevin's going to match it. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. Excuse me. As you guys probably know, I lost PayPal. I lost Venmo. That they terminated me because the things I was saying were very dangerous, obviously. But I lost Buy Me a Coffee. So these are the only direct bank to bank through Zelle, through your online banking. It's very, very easy and it's very secure. And then Give, Send, Go can take credit cards, but also the link on Snedheads. Folks, if you're coming back in and you haven't been here in a while, please check out snedheads.com and you will see a pretty badass social media platform here. and you can go on dark mode, you can go on light mode, and I've got the Q plan to save the world right here. If you click on that, tonight's show is on Snedheads. My X feed is on the right side. If you're on your phone, you just scroll past the live show, the my X feed, and then you get right into all of this, right? And here's Moonbeam, who dropped accurate representation of how it feels to wake people up. Oh, wow. Yeah, I felt that. That's for damn sure. Man, people just get out of the way, and they don't even tell you why, right? They don't even tell you why. You know, like I just would love it if people came up to me and said, hey Dave, I don't agree with your take on Trump. I don't agree with your take on Q. I'm a Democrat. I don't believe in what the Republicans are doing or what Trump is doing. I wish people would just say that so we could have conversations. Meanwhile, they treat you like you're a pariah if you're trying to wake people up. It's very disturbing. Cell towers aren't helping anyone. That makes it difficult. Martha says, Dave, I started watching you just before Biden went into office. You and Q got me through my fear. Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing that I always felt with Q is Q gave us hope. And it wasn't a false hope, because you knew that Q has like this incredible amount of information awesome. I'm glad you found me. This great information that is significant. So Patriot Street Fighter X22 is good too. Charlie Ward is has I'd be on for hours. Yeah. Mitch says, my buddy got hyper fast dementia after CV jab. He died already. Oh, Mitch, I'm sorry to hear that, man. Yeah, we've lost a lot of good people. A lot of good people. Dave, how's your throat? It's good. You mean from when I was attacked at the 2020 riots, Patricia, by Antifa? It's fine. It healed. Phil, just kidding. Yeah. Awesome. Let's see. Yep. Yeah. The Charlie, I covered that. I went live before we even knew he was dead. And then went live the next 2 nights, and we ripped that apart pretty significantly. I think he's alive. Yeah. Whip and spur saw my mother-in-law deteriorate from dementia and Parkinson's. So unnecessary and sad. Broke my heart. Yeah. Sorry to hear that. Tragic. D Live is up too, by the way, guys. The IndoctriNATION. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, 8-hour shows. A lot of people talk about that. I did an 8-hour show with also with Sir Oliver, who he's an anon, and I have him on from time to time. I do not know. I have not been in touch with them at all. Loved it when you did Q. We still do Q. Let's see. Charlie Freak is on Rumble. What do you guys think of him? I don't know much about him. I'll be honest, I don't know what to believe as far as Q goes anymore. It is what it is at this point. Well, I'll tell you, George, if you continued watching me, you would still be on board with Q because of the sheer comms and so forth. And like, for example, this graphic is done by Spiritual Street Fighter. She allows me to use her artwork, and it says nothing can stop what is coming. And she lets me use her artwork, and I'm able to tell you that what she has done is she's all Q plus, and President Trump has reposted her 41 times. Okay, 41 times, and she's a listener of this program. And haven't seen much on Q. Okay. And we know also Tin TV. I don't know Tin TV. I was Auntie Honey. Good to see you, my dear. I was always able to find you, sometimes difficult, though. I watched Salty Cracker, Cliff High, Jean Claude, and Bruce Sees All. Yeah, please click the like, everyone. I appreciate it. Yeah, Kevin, thank you, my friend. That's pretty awesome. I'm a little disappointed about a lot. I will say this, George, and everybody else, that what we're seeing is Gene Decode is back on YouTube. Gene has never had receipts for any of his stuff. I called that out many years ago, and again, those are outside comms, which Q tells us to be very wary of. Q has not started over, but the comms going back into Q have been hot and heavy. Yeah, I'll get Oliver back on. I've just been so busy and haven't been able to schedule. Yeah, Harry the Soul Coach thinks Tom Hanks is good. That was pretty unbelievable. And Q also has changed comms to Ingersoll Lockwood website. Remember when we used to go into the Ingersoll Lockwood website? Sarah, I'd like to know your opinion on Israel. Have you done a show on that, Dave? Yeah, many shows. Even last night, I got very specific about some things. I'll get into some stuff tonight. But I'm not a fan of Israel. Remember, Q said we're saving Israel for last. We know a lot of there is really bad. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, Dave. All those nights watching you, your labor of love was not in vain. I hope Q is still at work. They are, without question. And by the way, that's why the military, folks, that's why the military is doing what they're doing. Trump is doing what he's doing by getting the military involved in the different cities, because Q told us, National Guard, why is the National Guard called up across 12 cities? And we know, and now they're also training rapid response military to take care of events in the cities. So it's very much happening, right? Mike Gill's show, yeah, he's a piece of work. Yeah, Israel for last is the only thing giving me hope. Thanks for answering. You're welcome. Yeah, they and what's so important, by the way, is remember, the only way forward is military, but accountability, transparency, accountability, and justice was mentioned throughout the drops. And we have to be aware that Israel is bad before Israel is taken out, right? The leadership of Israel. And I tell you, if you're on X, folks, the propaganda towards Israel, to support Israel, is just, you've never seen anything like it. Ravenswing says, I'm seeing the changes in public, more people being polite and thoughtful. That's good to hear. That's really good to hear. Yeah, Q's military and generals. Yeah, military judges will be taking over a justice system. The other thing is Q told us, we had to see these judges, that we had to see their level of corruptness, right? Yeah, I think we're setting the clocks back. I don't think that's going to change like right away. Yeah. So, Kathy, I still think Trump has some bad people in his cabinet. I think that they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. Like this fake narrative of the Charlie Kirk with the trans shooter is necessary to get the money out of that mechanism, the Antifa, the BLM, and all that. That's why they're going down that ridiculous narrative. But also because it's ridiculous, people are looking at Israel a lot more, and that's very important. Those are the final sides of the triangle. Soros funds the Antifa, the judges, the DAs, and all that system to allow criminals back out on the streets. Rothschilds, the last side of the triangle, House of Saud, Soros, Rothschilds, and Rothschild is responsible for Israel. So I think the Charlie Kirk is the start, and that's what we're seeing. So, Elon was on the boards years ago on 4chan, and he has posted a frog several times. He's posted a couple Q things. He is absolutely aware of Q. And by the way, as I've said many times, cheers everybody. As I've said many times, that the White Hats were in control of Twitter. They brought Musk in just like they brought Trump in. Okay, they weren't going to leave X up to just happenstance. So he's a part of the Q team, actually. Mike says, Dave, you are the reason my wife and I didn't get jabbed. Thank you. You're very welcome, Mike. And by the way, in hindsight, my friends, did I nail it? Very early on, as you'll remember, and in hindsight, anybody glad that they got the jab? So on the Bayou, I think you're right, Dave. Everyone is doing what they're supposed to be doing, all while Trump moves in for the ultimate kill. Yeah, the whole thing with the Epstein and all that. I showed everybody the day that Trump said in this cabinet meeting about Epstein. Somebody asked a question about Epstein. He said, "We're still talking about this guy. What are we still talking about this guy?" And I went to the Q drops, and there were like 4 or 5 Q drops about Epstein on that Delta. Trump did that. Trump also had that kayfabe with Elon to make the Democrats think that he was in the Epstein files, and that he was trying to bury it. For the first time ever, my friends, we saw Democrats calling for the release of the Epstein files. That's what that was all about. When those come out, the Democrats and the media are going to have to report on it, because they've been reporting that Trump is in them. Okay. Patrick, another mass stabbing in England on a main London to North line. We need military before the planned civil war in the streets. That's why the military is getting ready. Yeah. So, yeah. Utah has a lot of rhinos in the government. Yep. Utah's in bad shape. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. He's a part of Q. He's a part of this. They didn't leave Twitter up to just happenstance, right? Melanie took the day off with hubby and tuning in first time. Melanie, welcome. Welcome to the show. Everyone make her feel welcome, and her hubby. Good to have you here. Let's see. Hello, Jasper. Thanks for letting us have Dave for a few hours. Hey, Dave. Edward, thank you, brother. Let's see. Dave, have you talked to Donovan lately? No, I have to reach out to him. Thank you, Moonbeam. Been having troubles with the lions, tigers, and bears. Literally, well, not tigers, really. I plan to order again soon. Holidays coming. Great time for beef giveaway. That's a good point. Donovan, my friends, is our family farm in Utah that has incredible beef. You know, mRNA free. You know, they roam the land. It's really fantastic beef, and it's lightningspringsranch.com. And if you use SNED at checkout, you'll get 5% off, and I'll get 5% put on a card that I can order beef from. So please check that out, folks, if you want really fantastic. Yeah, Kathy, you remember when Elon posted a picture of his nightstand with a gun and Coke can? What was the meaning of that post? Well, I broke that down. The Coke cans were in gold. He had the I can't remember the gun, but it was from a video game. And he also had the picture of the Washington, which is drop 14 in the Q drops. Which we just went to. We were just at yesterday because it was the Delta, but drop 14 is this one here, and he had this picture on his nightstand of Washington crossing the Delaware in the Durham in the first revolution, and here we are in the second revolution. So that was yesterday's Delta, and it speaks to military intelligence and how they're going to use the military to, you know, what happens if Soros-funded operations get violent and engage in domestic terrorism. We've seen all this, folks, and we didn't see all this back then, not like we do now, right? They're exposing that. Trump's mentioned Soros as the funder of some of these protests, if you will. So we're definitely, you know, getting to the point where we're seeing, all central casting without question. Yep, Epstein's still alive, without question. I am pure blood, Melanie, and so is my hubby. We lost family and friends, though. Yes, I lost my brother. I lost my father. I've lost some friends. Unbelievable. My family started watching Dave 2020 Let's Go USA before you got the big chair. My family also knew Jabby for us because of your info, common sense. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you for that. Yeah. Yeah. We knew the vax wasn't good. Yeah. Yeah. Good, Mikey. Most people didn't. Love to see Patriots back on YouTube. Yeah. Now they're investigating BLM. Don't know why they waited so long. Well, I can tell you why. We needed to see all the negative things they were doing. We needed to see the embezzlement of funds. We needed to see what these black leaders of BLM were doing with their money, which was getting out of the black neighborhood and buying homes. Patrice Colors, she bought a house out by me in Topanga. It's so they, again, remember, military, the only way forward is military. It was mentioned once, it was reposted, and then there was one other post with military in it mentioning the only way. But 20 times was, transparency, accountability, and justice. So the transparency has been really, really important. And look at what people think of BLM now versus 4 or 5 years ago. Huge difference, right? Huge difference. Thank you, Tim. I appreciate that. Yeah, and the Dems are using taxpayer dollars. Force jab my mother in the nursing home, was gone in a year. Sorry. Yeah, that's tragic. One big psyop. Um, we're living in a psyop, my friends. Love this. So grateful you are all. My heart is happy. Awesome, Melinda. Thank you. Kara, good to see you. How you doing? Welcome back. Welcome back. Beth said I ended up with early retirement and took a loss of money over the jab. Nice. Yeah, Utah Hill Country, great people, great farm, and it helps support the show. The 50 in the beef giveaway is awesome. I don't the 55-pound bundle or you bought. Yeah, and this is why, by the way, folks, that we haven't seen Epstein and I said this, and it's up on Snedheads, by the way. If you want to watch my take on Epstein, you can see it on Snedheads, and you'll see right here on the right side above my feed how the Epstein story will play out. I remember Robin asked me the question about that, and this was my answer right here. So you can watch that and see, why I say what I do and why why it's been taking this long, because as soon as they open up the Epstein, it leads directly to Israel, and they're saving Israel for last. So they've got this to do this stuff. All right. Let's see. Thank you, Martha. Super happy you're back, Dave. This is awesome. My hubby is the only firefighter in Maine that kept his job. It was a miracle. That's incredible. The firefighters were under a lot of pressure to get that, and you had to stick to your guns to avoid that. Let's see. Whip and Spur donation sent. Thank you very much for Kevin's match. That's really awesome. I appreciate that. Folks, if you're just coming in, Kevin Rotello, who's will be on YouTube tonight. I miss you all. Yeah, there's a lot of OG Sneds on YouTube. This is very cool. Let me see. And Kevin is matching up to 25 people. Thank you, brother. That is really amazing. Who donate $10. So if you're the first 25 people that donate $10, I'll read you out tonight on the show. And also Kevin is going to match that. So it's like putting, $10 in and you're actually giving me 20. So thank you, my friends. Yes. Let's see. Charlie Freak is of the mind that the Freemasons are for good. We need transparency, not secret societies. That would be the first time I've heard that one. Yeah, I miss Papa Sned. Thank you, Half Truths. Yep, I miss him too. Boy, he went fast. That was tragic. After the Moderna, both he and my brother got the Moderna. Thank you, brother. Yeah, very cool. Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, this is great. It's great to reconnect with so many of you. Margot, hi, Dave. Was following you on Rumble, but like YouTube better. Welcome back. Thank you, Margot. I appreciate that. A lot of people were having trouble on Rumble. And if you also, I don't know what YouTube does, but when you're watching the replay of my show on Rumble, it's got commercials, way too many commercials. And honestly, I don't get paid enough for that to be worthwhile. For you to be sitting through commercials, they don't give me enough of that money for you to be sitting through commercials. It's pretty tragic. I will say I had something like $277 that came in yesterday, which came in handy. So I don't mind it, but yeah. Tim says Moderna gave my younger sister a heart attack. I'm sorry to hear that. God. YouTube pays more. I hope so. Poppy has a sped up version of the Jason Q and Charlie Freak debate. Wonder what that was like. George says, I lost my dad this past June. He was 90. He had a wonderful life. He was going to get the jab. My brothers and I talked him out of it. I'm glad to hear that. Glad to hear that. Yeah. They are still using remdesivir, but now it's called Veklury. Wow. I didn't know that. Thank you, Hunter. That's important. Yeah, so awesome to see YouTube channel blossoming again. Thank you. Thank you. They separated us, my friends. They did a very effective job to separate us and keep you from me, keep me from you. I love Mr. Whistle Whiskers. Yes, he makes an appearance from time to time, and he's doing well. He's losing weight. How do I donate? Don't see the pay buttons. This is how we do it right here, and also there's a method on snedheads.com. By the way, please go to snedheads.com. We got 661 beautiful people over there. And I'm also dropping a Stripe link in the chat. And the Stripe link is that'll take you directly to let me see. That'll take you directly to Stripe. You can use a credit card. You can use all kinds of things there. And yeah, the fact that they're still using that is tragic. It's absolutely tragic. Yeah. So, Dave, how's your daughter? She's doing great. Thanks for asking. She's a senior in high school already. So she had a couple deadlines today for colleges. I can't believe it. That's unbelievable. Cash App, Kathy, you can use Cash App on that link that I just dropped. But they terminated me twice off Cash App. And that's another one I lost. So overall, I think 2, 4, 6 monetary platforms terminated me, 6 different ones. Jan Marie accepted the Zelle challenge. Thank you, Jan Marie. Patty J63, thank you very much. And Whip and Spur, thank you very much. That's amazing. And Kevin's going to do that for the first 25. Pfizer killed my sister-in-law. I'm sorry to hear that, Becca. Yeah. No, the jab, it gives you turbo cancer. Venmo and PayPal, I've been terminated off both of those. All because, what we're talking about now. Yeah. Senior in high school. Yep. Right. Check Whisker's thyroid. That's interesting. Okay. He eats a lot, but doesn't gain any weight. Yeah, we need to see tribunals for the jab. No question. Yeah, you can also send a donation to my address. Thank you, Margot. I appreciate that. I haven't been showing that lately. And I'm in Dripping Springs, Texas. So all you have to do is know my name, PO 1554, Dripping Springs, Texas 78620. And you guys know I love getting your cards, your letters. And I haven't checked it this week. I need to get down and check it. Yeah. Yeah. The other thing about the auto pen pardons, will Fauci be indicted? Well, The interesting thing is they pardoned Fauci, but he hadn't been charged for anything. So people were questioning the validity of a blanket pardon without any charges. And so now that we know that the auto pen are going to be reversed, that's unbelievable, right? Yeah, George, they own all the social media apps. The big tech has really, folks. If I was to pick any person that's been crueler or worse to me, uh, it would be big tech. Like nobody's treated me like that. I mean, and when you're trying to, get an audience, you're trying to build, a channel, and you get, I think I'm on 28 terminations. Yeah, unbelievable. Hunter, yes, people can donate to Donation Nation if not a member. And basically, the Donation Nation, my friends, is that's on Snedheads. If you're in the news feed, and by the way, if you're on your phone, you have to go up here and you got to click the drop down menu so that you can see this, and then scroll down and you'll see everything. We got games on here, we've got chess, we've got add friends, we've got a meme garden, we've got old videos. You can email me on this. You can help on how to post weather anomalies, circus sned videos. These are where like some of the older videos are. This is the tyranny in the storm. This was the May 22nd, 2019 video I did warning about a coming pandemic, because they just created a pandemic to take away our medical exemption in California. So that's on there. The attacks on Bobby Kennedy back in the day. My football highlights that you guys have had fun with, a great interview with Rob Cunningham. MSM and religion, control of our mind, is on there. The window to the world takes you to some really great X feeds that it just takes a second to populate. For example, the LAPD has declared a citywide tactical alert in response to the potential celebrations or unrest following the Dodgers game outcome. The situation remains developing. Scientists have announced that they have carried out the first ever butt breathing trial on humans. The procedure, known as enteral ventilation, delivers oxygen through the rectum to help patients with severe lung problems. Holy shit. Unbelievable. Wow. Breaking: President Trump has issued a strong statement threatening to take action and send the United States military in Nigeria due to the ongoing violence against Christians. He said, "I'm hereby instructing our Department of War to prepare for possible action." That's amazing. That's amazing. This was really funny. I posted this on X today. And this guy says, "Little did I know getting out of bed in the morning that I was mimicking Michael Jackson's Thriller video." Here it is. How many of you feel that way? I don't want to play the whole thing because I don't want to get a copyright strike on that song. Yeah, Zelle is the only way to go. That's so easy. Just going into your bank app and Zelling, and it's DaveSned at Gmail. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, thank you guys. Turbo cancer, it's when you get cancer and it just goes through you so quickly. That's the name they gave it. Yeah, I remember when your daughter brought you dinner in the studio. Remember, she used to always bring me dinner. That was awesome. Check Mr. Whistle Whisker's sugar levels too. Okay, so I'm gonna write these down. So sugar and thyroid. We've taken him to the vet. I mean, he seems fine, but he, for as much as he eats, he should be heavier, right? but thank you for those comments. My best friend got turbo pancreatic cancer. Wow, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah. So let's see. Yeah, Jasper and Dave get 100% of the donation when it's Zelle. It's clean, safe, and secure. Thank you. Thank you, Edward. Yeah, I'm hoping Fauci's warm food now. Yeah, I don't know who's here and who's gone. Well, I've done what do you call it? Ivermectin with him because we thought about that. And I think ivermectin gets rid of the tapeworms, the fenbendazole, doesn't it? Yeah, and you can use your card to donate through Stripe. Thank you, Moonbeam. Let's see. Yeah, we have to keep talking to stay free. Yeah. Yeah. Very cool. But snedheads.com, guys, please get on over there and join us. It's free to join. If you want to support my work and support that platform, it's $17 a month. So please consider that as well, because that is not a lot, but and by the way, that's much less than what they're making off of you by stealing your information, tracking you, listening to you, watching you. They're selling all those like really intricate details everywhere your phone goes. They track you, and then they sell that information, and they make about $35 to $45 a month off your information. Real Raw News website. I have not found that to be legitimate. No receipts whatsoever on that. 3-2 now. Blue Jays still leading. I'm rooting for my Dodgers, having been in LA for 25 years, and rooting for America over Toronto. No offense, my Canadian brothers and sisters. Melanie, I've been subscribed since 2019. You just popped up again in my feed. Thank you very much, Melanie. And get on over to Snedheads. And if you've been subscribed that long, I need to add funds to your account so that you can be free on Snedheads, because you've been supporting me for so long. Thank you, Catherine. I appreciate you. Yeah, it's yeah. I have been told that quite a lot, and it is a good thing. So let's see. Is it better to send you out of state cashier's check or cash? Either one, but I've only had cash taken out. I think it was D, and cash was taken out of the letter. But most people will cover it over so people don't know it's cash. But either one, whichever's easy. I'd say 99.9% I've gotten all of it. That's how you get out of bed every morning. I do every day, Kathy. Yeah, me every morning. So every morning, guys, we're doing the zombie walk from Thriller. That's hilarious. We got to have some fun with it, right? Yeah, we got to have some fun with it. Sorry about that, Sherry. Both parents got turbo cancer and passed. Melanie, welcome to 60. I turned 60 in March. My father, myeloma cancer, died in 2021. I'm sorry to hear that. Oh, that's funny. I had a decorated golf cart full of trick-or-treaters wheel up playing that Thriller last night. I just started dancing. Awesome. Yeah, we've got them on some different pet food, some really high-quality pet food now. I agree. Most of them are poison. Oil of oregano, animals love it and helps possible infections. Good to know. That's a good tip. I'm writing these down, folks. because we gotta extend Whisker's life. He's such a good dude. Yeah, when the cancer moves fast, it's really hard. It's really hard. Yeah, I have pet vaxes as well. That's why we don't vax our pets. He gets a lot of water in his food. He doesn't drink a lot of water, but he gets a lot of water in his food. The only way he would have tapeworms if he has fleas. I know he got some from Whisker or from Jasper a while back, right? They're supposed to come out with a spray to help eyesight at the first of the year. Interesting. Kara, good to see you. Great to have found you. Good to have you back. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, Polar Bear Paws just said goodbye to my godfather, best friend, business partner, Rock, a month ago. Been closed for spiritual maintenance until recently. God bless you. And God bless that good man who was such a significant part of your life. So, God watch out for him, please, and watch over him and all those he loved. You're a Giants fan. Yeah, Giants fans and Dodgers don't get along, do they? I wouldn't say I'm a fan of the Dodgers at all, but I'm rooting for them. Listen, Martha, this is why I give this away, okay? I'm sorry that you went through what you did. God bless you. I'm so glad that you're not in your car. But as you know, folks, if you're struggling, cheers to all those who are struggling. There's a lot of us. I don't want you to donate. You know that. Okay. That's why Kevin does what he does. That's why so many of the others are doing what they do and supporting me so that I can continue to give this away for free. Sarah, yeah, I still have the map where you can see where we're located when we watch. It's you have to go to the Sned shop, and maybe we'll do that later or in the next show. But snedshop.myshopify.com, and then I can look you up and see where you're at. What do you think about the med beds and Trump's post about them? I thought it was odd that he posted that, but we have to remember that Q said, when has President Trump said something that hasn't turned out to be true? And he hasn't done that. He hasn't done that. So I really, really believe that what we're seeing when President Trump posts something like that, without question, we're being told something, right? Let me play this for you. I'm gonna go. I gotta go let Jasper out real quick, and he's scratching and now barking for me, which is rare. So let me play this just a minute long.
What's going on, everybody? It's your guy Mac. On November 1st now, today's EBT day, right? It's now 7:39 a.m. Listen, message to the 42 million people in the SNAP program who didn't receive their benefits or whatnot. I feel your pain, all right? But keep in mind, this is not on the Republicans, okay? This is on the Democratic Party. This is not a government shutdown. This is a hostage negotiation. That's what's happening. They're using you guys as pawns in this grand scheme of things. They'd rather starve you out just to get $1.5 trillion to feed someone else. Just feed their pockets, align their pockets on some other bullshit. Keep that in mind. As for me, I got this whole crew behind me. I got all this. I'm 60 years old. I got all these houses to do. I got a whole crew right there getting ready to go to work. I'm 60, like I said, I've been working since I was 15, man. There's a lot of you able-bodied people that can get up off your asses and go handle your business. Peace.
Horsepower, do you know what the pill is for tapeworms? It's not ivermectin. Yeah, I need to, Arnie and Sarah both talking about colloidal silver, and I need to Yeah, silver. We need to start putting that in with the food, without question. I do that with Jasper. I use something called Mysterium. By the way, folks, we're still Jim is still making his Saint Solutions, colloidal silver, and then the Mysterium. I put it in my water. I put it in Jasper's water. It raises the frequency. It has a frequency of 1,000, and it raises the frequency, and also gives you gold, silver, and copper in your water, and in And I also swish it in my mouth to clean my mouth. So Jim and Jasmine are still doing Saint Solutions, and so if you need some of this, you're going to get it at a great price, and you get it at 12% off when you use Sned 17. I still only have a handful of people that I promote, handful of businesses, and that's one of them. And we've been consistent with Jim and Jasmine for quite some time. Let me. Great to get into so much of this with you all, just in terms of like just general conversation. And Akira, I only found you because you had posts on Facebook, and I saw your post, and that's how I found you tonight. Well, welcome back. Good to see you. Yeah, thank you, all supporters. That's very cool. Let's see. And get your dot on. If you go to snedshop.myshopify.com, we can see where everybody is. And I also wanted to, I think Toronto's up 4-2, by the way, if anybody's got a score. So this is what it looks like, my friends. And if you want to get up there, I'll leave it. I'll bring it back up here in a little bit. If you want to go to snedshop.myshopify.com, you don't have to buy anything, but we have some great stuff there. We got hats, shirts, mugs, and that's fairly new. Snedshop.myshopify.com, and then you'll show up here. It looks like we've got Colorado represented. Is that you, Whip and Spur? And so we could see where everybody pops up. So I'll, if you want to do that, you could just leave it open, and I'll bring that up a little bit later. And just to see where everybody is. Let's see. Raven's Wings. Have you guys seen that documentary? Why there are no toilets in all the old cathedrals. It's very fascinating because they had the ability back in the day to put toilets in cathedrals, and they didn't do it. Why haven't they done it, right? Let me see. Just seeing if I can find it. And it's basically because the theory is that they were healing centers, and you didn't go there to sit to listen to a man tell you about God or what have you. You went there to heal, and so people would go and stand, and they'd play the bells or the organs, and you would connect directly with source. There was no prophet in there. There was no priest, nothing. And it was about just connecting with our Creator. And it was a frequency thing. And and they've taken that away. That's also why all the bells are gone, right? Yeah. So I do believe that this kind of technology is coming, but if you were listening to Charlie Ward and Simon Parks, they were telling you they were there 4, 5, 6 years ago. They also told you that the what do you call it, the new currency was going to happen then too, right? Yeah, cathedral cathode. I forgot to mention that too. Cathode tubes, like, yeah. So yeah, Darlene, thanks for joining us. Good to have you here. Yeah, yeah, yep. Frequency healing through the bells. Yep. Demons hate bells. Yeah. Crystalline bodies got energy from the other. That's the other thing. Yep. Ring your bells. They heal. Clove water, cinnamon sticks, and star anise. You know, I want to get some clove and start doing that before bed. I heard that that's really good, just taking a clove and biting it and sucking it before you go to bed. I've heard that's really, really good. And then the anise is great, and cinnamon. Cool. I'm taking notes, folks. I'm a good note taker. You can't read my writing. I mean, look at that. I mean, you can't read my writing, but I'm good at I'm good at taking notes. Yeah. Let's see. I'm really concerned about digital currency. You're right to be concerned, but I will tell you this, that the direction we're going is the crypto, and that is not going to be metered out, if you will. Oh, George, you've been a good boy. You get to spend money on this, this, and this today. But you've already bought enough beef, so we're gonna not allow you to buy beef. That's not going to happen. We're too awake for that to happen. Okay. Now, do we see it being pushed forward in England? Yes, but that all is being exposed without question. Yeah, that might be one of the smartest things you ever did. Okay, good. Oil oregano, Jeannie. Thank you. Very good. Jen, you've been doing the clove thing. Awesome. So you recommend it? Very cool. Okay. Ceylon cinnamon is the best. Ceylon. Is that the Ceylons? Weren't they in Land of the Lost? Weren't those were the Slee stacks? Who were the Ceylons? Were they Star Wars or Star Trek? Let's see. My lunch break does a lot on the cathedrals. I have seen that. Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, as long as I can read it. You know, back in the day, I read where, and I've got like, and I haven't been doing it, but I've got probably hundreds of these, all with like ideas, story ideas when I was making movies and things like that. And I read long ago that what's his name? I'm blanking. The artist Leonardo da Vinci. He used to write backwards so no one else could read his writing, and he'd hold it up to a mirror to read it. I took that another step. I write so that no one else can read it, mirror or no mirror. So my secrets are safe. Be prepared to pucker up after you chomp down on that clove. Okay, good to know. I absolutely awakened. I absolutely believe this without question. I saw a guy do a video today about the leaves. I don't know if you guys saw that. I think I bookmarked it to share with you all. Let me see if I make sure I did. But he basically talked about you're raking up the leaves and you're throwing them away. Meanwhile, the trees are dropping the leaves and then they, attract microbes and bugs and things like that. And they go into the soil. And when they're in the soil, here's this young man. I want to play this for you because this is really, it really speaks to, uh, let me see. It really speaks to, we got somebody up in Connecticut now. Sometimes we'll start the show with this and we'll do it another time, but here we go.
Y'all are throwing away gold every year in the fall, and it breaks my heart every time. And if y'all been here a while, you know what it is. These leaves. Y'all mow them up every year, rake them up every year, put them in a bag or put them in a pile on the side of the road, or you burn them. Here, get rid of all these leaves. Take them away. I don't want nothing to do with them. They are not garbage. Let me explain this to you. In the spring and summer, when your trees have green leaves on them, they're making food. Once fall starts hitting, the tree is time to start wrapping it up. So they start sending all the foods down to the roots and everything else to start preparing for hibernation in the winter. And after that happens, the excess nutrients remain in the leaves. And then the trees drop them to the ground. And now there is a giant blanket of food, nutrients, on the ground, right under the tree, right over the roots. The second that happens, the worms, fungi, and other little critters down there in the dirt, they start eating on them, breaking them down, and returning those excess nutrients back into the dirt to where the roots are, where the tree pulls up the nutrients. So now when spring hits, boom, the tree has a bunch of food already down there where the roots are, so it can start pulling them up and get to going. So if you want nutrient-rich food, fruits and vegetables, or you want a luscious lawn, or you want a beautiful landscape, get you a nice lawnmower, ideally one that has some type of leaf or grass catcher attachment, and go collect your leaves. And if you don't have anything to catch your leaves with, leave them where they are in your lawn and run them over with a lawnmower. Or you can run them over with a lawnmower, rake them up, and then pile them up. They'll break down into leaf mold or leaf compost, and you can just use that later, apply it to your plants and stuff later. The Creator gave you everything you need to be successful. Seek him out. He will show you. Peace.
Yeah, pretty good stuff there. Just pretty basic. You want to come up? By the way, guys, for those of you who haven't met this guy, this is Jasper. This is Jasper, my Labradoodle. Hi, buddy. How you doing? Huh? He's kind of a mess. He had a couple play dates this week. Hi there. Uh-oh. That's what I heard. I lost one of my lights. Hi, good boy. Hi. You want to say hello? Want to say hello? Huh? You want to say hello? What's going on? What's going on? Yeah. What a sweet boy. Yeah. So Jasper's about 1 year and 7 months, I think. Oh boy. Here we go. Yeah, lost one of my lights when I got up. Okay, there we go. Let me, there we go. Okay. Yeah, there we go. I'm back. Let's see. Yeah, I grew up with trees around our house, so sometimes we got in trouble as a kid. The fall punishment would be to rake leaves. Yeah, exactly. Hey, Mary, good to see you. Yeah, he is a sweet boy. Jasper thinks Dave talks to himself. That's pretty fucking funny. I never thought of that. That's really funny. Thank you guys. Yeah, he's a good dude. Very cool. Yeah, Jen says, Jen, good to see you. Oh my gosh, you should have seen the tomato plant that grew out of my dad's compost pile without a seed or plant. They were huge. Awesome. Nice to meet you, Jasper. Very cool. Very loyal. Yeah. So here we go. Let me I've got some other things to share with you tonight. The healing effects of baking soda. Since we're talking about like healing and natural healing, I want to go to a few of these things that I had saved for you today.
This video before it's removed from the internet.
In 1926, they came out with a booklet about how to use sodium bicarbonate as a medicine. Sodium bicarbonate is probably the most useful substance there is. There are books that talk about hundreds of common uses, cleaning the refrigerator, dealing with diaper rash. I mean, the list is endless. As a medicine, it is crucial. It also, as a medicine, is the least expensive medicine there is. You can buy 50 pounds for less than $50. So we're talking very inexpensive because it's common baking soda. And yet in injectable form, you have to have a license to use it. Though it's very useful taken orally and transdermally, like in baths. In fact, it's so useful, I put it in between my toes to control toe fungus in between my toes. Baking soda is a very flexible medicine, like magnesium. It can be taken orally, it can be used transdermally, it can be injected, it can be nebulized. And there's a company that makes a capsule that combines sodium bicarbonate with glutathione. Break open the capsule and put it into the nebulizer, and you're directly treating the lungs. It is not very well absorbed through oral means, so this transdermal route is a very powerful tool. I recommend sodium bicarbonate baths. I've had, usually I recommend 1 pound or 2 pounds in a bath. I've had people write me, have used up to 5 pounds. And they told me the bicarbonate was coming out of them for 2 weeks afterwards, so I wouldn't recommend so quickly that kind of level. But starting out with 1 pound of sodium bicarbonate and 1 pound of magnesium chloride bath flakes or Dead Sea salt. People have been using for years Epsom salt, which is magnesium sulfate, which is okay, but it just doesn't, the medical effect is not as strong as using magnesium chloride. So these baths are very, very nice. Orally, for cancer, I'm the only doctor in the world who's written a book, a full medical review on sodium bicarbonate, on the simple baking soda. And I always suggest it to be part of a protocol for cancer. This is a very important point because there are many reasons to sustain and quite a bit of clinical and experimental science to sustain Dr. Tullio Simoncini from Rome, his use of sodium bicarbonate in treatment, also in the treatment of kidney disease, also in the treatment of diabetes. In fact, we find that in the 21st century and in the century before, with all of these toxins combining in the face of our nutritional deficiencies, people have become acidic. The modern or normal condition of human beings or of our patients is their acid. Their whole environment is acidic.
And by the way, that's really powerful. And there's also some stuff on what do you call it? Borax that I pulled up for you, and I'm looking for that now. I want to play this for you. This is very good. Script Keeper shared this earlier. I'm going to come back to this. I want to play this first. And this is for those. Here's the sodium bicarbonate. No, that I just played that one for you. Let me share that one out. Get rid of that. Okay. Interesting. All right, I want to play this for you. This is pretty cool. And this is about like manifesting, like shifting our mentality into manifestation in a really powerful way. Check out what she has to say.
We are co-creating with God. We are one with source. I don't care what anybody says, and I'm going to tell you why. I just read a study on campus, and I have to talk about this because this is so important. Some of you have heard of the study with cats. The cats were from birth raised in dark black rooms, but for a few hours a day, they took two groups of cats and separated them. One group of cats was put in a room for a few hours with horizontal lines, and the other group of cats was put into rooms with vertical lines. The group of cats, as they were raised and they were exposed to real world, they were led into the real world. The group of cats that were exposed to the vertical lines could not see horizontal lines. So objects, horizontal objects, okay? So what this means is the vertical objects they could see, but they would not be able to perch themselves up on couches or tables or anything horizontal because they quite literally couldn't see it. Vice versa, the cats that were exposed to the horizontal lines were running into table legs and they were hitting vertical objects because they could not see it even though it was there. This is us. This is what's happening to us. This is what has happened to all of us. I need somebody to fucking hear this. When we are raised, we are like a sponge from 0 to 7. We're 0 to 7. We're absorbing everything within us, okay? All of it's being pushed inside of us. Ages 7 to 12, it's a little more, the windows are closing, things are shutting. By the age of 13, 14, we're done. Whatever has been programmed in us is essentially what's there, aside from traumas, heavy repetition, emotion. This is great news because our brains are malleable, which means we can change this. But it takes work, it takes time. But if you were exposed to an environment that talked poorly about money, that had a bad relationship with money, you quite literally will only see that outside of you because that's what's being filtered outside of you because that's what you were raised in. Holy shit. This is why I talk about, like when I talk about affirmations, my one buddy went in depth on this, but when you can say, if you say, I am rich, I am whatever, a million times a day, your brain can logically counter that and say, no, you're not, because you don't have evidence for it. But the moment that you can continuously say, why does money keep showing up for me? Why do opportunities keep presenting themselves to me? Why? And you ask it that way, your reticular activating system begins to filter itself so that you can start to see it. Motherfucker. This has been in front of my face for years. I've been studying it for years, and this is what I mean by consciousness. You won't see it if you're not there. That's why you can't push it on people. It makes fucking sense because if a person wasn't raised to see it, they have no idea it's there. Oh my God, you guys, I have to start talking about this. Tomorrow I'm going to start breaking down the amygdala, the basal ganglia, the prefrontal cortex, because these things like fear, the amygdala, it starts shooting off, bam, bam, bam. And we think it's a bad thing, but growth on the other side of fear is an amazing thing, because then when we can take a moment of pause and we can name our fear and we can look at our fear, that kicks in our prefrontal cortex and it quiets the amygdala. And it doesn't mean that the fear is gone. It just means that we can look at it from a different perspective. Bitch, I'm shitting myself. Oh my gosh. We are creating our realities with God. I don't care what anybody says. Holy shit.
She's awesome. Paycology, P-E-Y-cology is on TikTok. And I thought about that today when I saw that. I'm like, I got to share this tonight with the Sneds because it's so like when you say, I am rich, I am rich, I am rich. And if you're not rich, it stopped in the middle. The video stopped in the middle. Let me back it up because you got to see that part. Let me back it up to here. I don't know what happened there. Let's try that again.
Objects, okay? So what this means is the vertical objects they could see, but they would not be able to perch themselves up on couches or tables or anything horizontal because they quite literally couldn't see it. Vice versa, the cats that were exposed to the horizontal lines were running into table legs and they were hitting vertical objects because they could not see it even though it was there. This is us. This is what's happening to us. This is what has happened to all of us. I need somebody to fucking hear this. When we are raised, we are like a sponge from 0 to 7. We're 0 to 7. We're absorbing everything within us, okay? All of it's being pushed inside of us. Ages 7 to 12, it's a little more, the windows are closing, things are shutting. By the age of 13, 14, we're done. Whatever has been programmed in us is essentially what's there, aside from traumas, heavy repetition, emotion. This is great news because our brains are malleable, which means we can change this. But it takes work, it takes time. But if you were exposed to an environment that talked poorly about money, that had a bad relationship with money, you quite literally will only see that outside of you because that's what's being filtered outside of you because that's what you were raised in. Holy shit. This is why I talk about, like when I talk about affirmations, my one buddy went in depth on this. But when you can say, if you say, I am rich, I am whatever, a million times a day, your brain can logically counter that and say, no, you're not, because you don't have evidence for it. But the moment that you can continuously say, why does money keep showing up for me? Why do opportunities keep presenting themselves to me? Why? And you ask it that way, your reticular activating system begins to filter itself so that you can start to see it. Motherfucker. This has been in front of my face for years. I've been studying it for years. And this is what I mean by consciousness. You won't see it if you're not there. That's why you can't push it on people. It makes fucking sense because if a person wasn't raised to see it, they have no idea it's there. Oh my God, you guys, I have to start talking about this tomorrow. I'm going to start breaking down the amygdala, the basal ganglia, the prefrontal cortex, because these things like fear, the amygdala, it starts shooting off, bam, bam, bam. And we think it's a bad thing, but growth on the other side of fear is an amazing thing, because then when we can take a moment of pause and we can name our fear and we can look at our fear, that kicks in our prefrontal cortex and it quiets the amygdala. And it doesn't mean that the fear is gone. It just means that we can look at it from a different perspective. Bitch, I'm shitting myself. Oh my gosh. We are creating our realities with God. I don't care what anybody says. Holy shit.
Check her out. I'm glad I was able to replay that. Thanks, Moonbeam, for that heads up. Paycology, Peycology on TikTok. Check her out. I was thinking, so I found that today, and I was like, wow, like when you tell yourself, I am rich, I am rich, I am wealthy, but you're not, your subconscious knows you're not. So your subconscious knows that that's not true. But when you say, why are all my bills paid? Why do every month am I able to pay my rent or my mortgage or my car payment? Why is that? Why is abundance flow to me in the last minute or continuously? And you start asking why, and it's almost Socratically like the Q drops, why this, why that, and people started researching it. People started activating their brains in research. And so then we activate our brain, like, why does that happen? Well, because I'm showing up and, people like Kevin are coming on the show and saying, hey, I'm going to match everybody. He's committing $250. And all you have to do is commit 10, and so that's abundance flows to me, right? Why does that happen? Well, I'm providing value, and I think in anything in life, if we provide value in the right direction, people come to us and support us, and if we give them ways in which to do so. But the key there is to give of oneself, to do your best, to put it out there, and hopefully it'll come back tenfold. Speaking of which, I want to thank Dina Gildner for your $17, Karen Billick 10, Kim Lundberg stepped up with $100. Thank you, Kim. That's amazing. CR Partners, $10. Dolores Worrell, 10. Patricia Jacobs, 10. Jeanette Sayer stepped up with 50. Thank you, Jeanette. That's amazing. Heather Willard with 20. Some of these people were on the wheel last night, so are given double. Thank you so much. Diana Lisi gave 10. Thank you all. Michael Janis gave 17. Thank you, Michael. Thank you all. So awesome. This was after Heather gave me 40 last night. Thank you, Heather. And CR gave 10. Yeah. And Dina 34 last night. D 20. Thank you, everybody. That's really, I really appreciate that. It's very important, especially the 1st of November. I still got another Zelle to send for my roof over my head, and so every little thing is very, very appreciated and very, very welcome, my friends. And speaking of which, you know, what we're seeing in New York is Trump has said it'll probably be the best thing that ever happened to the Republicans with Mondani on Tuesday is the vote. Check out this young lady. She's fabulous. And I'm going to play her.
Listen, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I don't care if they touch the stove. New York City is yearning to touch the socialism stove. I don't care if they do. You're going to vote for rent freeze and receive housing shortages. You're going to vote for free public everything and then be surprised whenever it's backlogged, overloaded, and none of it works. You're going to vote to increase the taxes on the most wealthy and then be surprised when they leave. And then even more surprised when your taxes go up to fund all those free social services that you voted for. You're going to vote to let nonviolent offenders out of jail to reduce, if not altogether remove, penalties on misdemeanors and to shift funding away from policing towards social services. And you're going to be surprised when crime actually doesn't improve, it gets worse. So no, honey, I don't care. I don't care if they elect him. I would rather New York City learn a tough lesson that we can all learn from than the entire nation learn a hard lesson if it gets to that point. Lord willing, it won't. Touch it. Touch it. Touch the stove.
Touch the stove. Touch the stove. That's what we're going to see. And it's going to be very clear how this is.
Listen, I've said it before.
A very bad thing, not a good thing. And I think I have her up here as well earlier. I wanted to share that with you because let me see if I have this. I may not have done that. Let's talk about the government. Let me play this for you. This young lady is fantastic, and I want you to hear her words here.
The best way to gain control of the most intelligent, powerful species on the planet would be to completely divide them from the love within themselves. As soon as they are old enough to begin creating an understanding of who they are, force them into a system that teaches them that it is wrong to be yourself if yourself is different from what is accepted as normal. Confuse them about their own biological makeup so that they think that permanently altering their body is the answer to happiness. Require their daily attendance at an institution that makes them focus only on the information that is provided. Make them attend that institution from age 5 until an adult and repeatedly test them on the information so that it becomes their truth. Give them an explanation to everything so that they never have a chance to make their own assumptions of the world. Scold them and humiliate them if they suggest an opinion that opposes that of their authorities. Keep reminding them of how cruel their ancestors were to each other in the past and broadcast how cruel they are to each other in the present. Only show them tragedies on the news so that they live in fear and think the worst of one another. Convince them that their species used to be that of an incognizant wild animal. Make them think that their very existence is so incredibly random that they lack purpose and struggle to make sense of a creator. Tell them that their kind is as smart as they've ever been so that they don't question the integrity of the system that they're in. Provide them idols with artificial beauty and use them as examples of what it is to look perfect so that they are never content with their own appearance and can't help but to compare themselves amongst each other. Create addictive digital platforms that rank them by numbers so that they base their self-worth off of the amount of followers that they have and are never satisfied. Build a society around them in which those who have money benefit and those who don't fail. Make money their main focus, but make it so difficult to accumulate that they remain in a place of constant struggle, forced to dedicate the majority of their time to the system that made it this way. Tax them in every way possible, but tell them that it's for their own benefit so that they don't think twice about paying it. Take so much of their time and energy throughout the week, but give them 2 days to themselves so that they feel a sense of reward and don't fight back. Promote the consumption of poison in every social setting so that even on those 2 days, they remain disconnected from themselves and each other. Pump their food with excess sugars and addictive chemicals, but make it cheap, advertised, and easily accessible so that they never stop consuming. When their food makes them ill, prescribe them medication that only masks the symptoms so that they become dependent on it every day. Charge them so much money for healthcare so that they stay in a constant loop of consuming, medicating, and working. Cause chaos amongst them and blame it on a group of their own so that they form judgmental stereotypes. Turn them against each other in so many ways so that even if they were to connect on one, they would still be divided by another.
Powerful words, right? You know, this is the plan for us. This is how they do this, and this is what we must be aware of. And our awareness to things such as this are everything. Without question, our awareness, our awakening is so very important. Listen to this lovely lady here.
The uncomfortable thing about awakening is that you see through everything. And the thing is that other people are not used to you seeing through everything. It's not that you only start to see through society and sales business or social media. You start to see through every person coming into your life. You start to suddenly see the intention behind them even coming into your life within seconds. And this is not always comfortable. You know exactly when dating someone, their actual intentions. Work-related, whatever it is, you start to see through it all. And then there comes a point where you actually ask if maybe it was better not seeing through everything. That's the thing with awakening, that we can't go back. There is no turning back. We can't unsee what we've seen. When people try to fuck you over like they used to, but that's because they don't know that you see. So embrace it all. Embrace this human experience. And hey, at least now, you see it.
I think I'm in love. I don't know which one. I'm in love. I'm very confused right now. I am, you see a beautiful woman and then I'll give you an example. I had an interaction, gorgeous, young, beautiful woman that was seemingly very interested. And then I found out everything not everything, but I found out some things that she believed in. And she no longer was attractive to me. And that's what's happening. And it's not just beauty either. I was talking to my buddy Lee, who I've done a show with. We were talking today and we're just so glad we found each other. Both strong alpha males, athletes, doing some really good stuff in the world. And we're just so happy for our friendship. My buddy Ed, I'm so happy for that friendship. My buddy Samson. And we're all alpha males, but we also are awake. And so when you find that connection with somebody that's awake, it is so much stronger. That's why so many of you, some of you I've met, but so many of you we've never met, but we have this incredible connection because we're awake. We're aware of what's going on in our world and our surroundings. And that's such an attractive trait. Like, I want to know you. I want to get you. And we were able to do that because all the bullshit is stripped away. Yeah. So at any rate, so I wanted to get into that, and I wanted to talk a little bit about what's going on in the world right now. And here's Tulsi, and this is shared by Julie Donuts. Thank you for this cut, Julie, on X. Check this out. I mean, this is what we're experiencing right now.
People who say, well, Tulsi, this is just your view or your interpretation. No, it's all in hundreds of pages of documents that I've declassified and released that show point by point exactly what happened through this timeline that showed this very dangerous thing that occurred in the creation of Russiagate, the creation of this manufactured intelligence assessment that essentially had the intent of undermining the voices and votes of the American people who elected Donald Trump. They were not happy with the outcome of that election. And so they created this politicized, weaponized piece of fake intelligence that, as you mentioned, then went on to serve as a foundation for everything that came after, the multiple investigations, the years-long Mueller investigation, 2 congressional impeachments, investigations in the raid at Mar-a-Lago. The list goes on and on. Ultimately, the real crime here was against the American people, because this action singularly undermined the integrity of our democratic republic. What to speak of the fact that some of those folks and those 37 individuals that we revoked, directed the revocation of security clearances from today by under the direction of President Trump, they aided and abetted in this action, this seditious conspiracy that undermined our democracy, undermined our republic, and broke that sacred trust that every one of these professionals is supposed to have from the American people.
My friends, when the
people who say, well,
when the security clearances were stripped away from all of those who signed on. Remember how the Democrats and our friends were telling us, listen, 17 intelligence agencies say that President Trump was colluding with Russia, right? Well, guess what? When Tulsi came on as the director of national intelligence, those people lost their security clearance. And I told you then that was the precursor. They have to do that first, and they bring the awareness to the public. And they're like, why is Trump revoking these security clearances? And when you start to look at it, you realize that there's a trend. First the security clearances, then the referrals for investigation. Comey, Brennan are the first 2 that are big. Obviously, also the people that with this Arctic frost that's happened, they realized that Biden, through a whistleblower, that Biden he tapped the phones of 20% of Congress. They're pissed, okay? And they asked for their phone records. And but they were also spying on them, and they're pissed. Like, there's going to be some shit going down, my friends. Trust me on this when I tell you. People are saying, "Oh, there's been no arrests." It has to be done in a way that that is acceptable by the American people, right? This is big news. I've got to share this with you, and this has to do with the same topic. This is Sheriff Joe Arpaio. Now, for those who've been with me a long time, I've always been a big fan of his. The sheriff of Maricopa County. He said, "I have been vindicated by the U.S. Supreme Court." They took him out. They made him the bad guy for the way that he was putting prisoners in tents. He was making them wear pink shorts and pink shirts. He treated them like criminals. You didn't want to be in a Sheriff Joe Arpaio jail. And so a recent U.S. Supreme Court decision in Nome versus Vasquez Perdomo has vindicated me, affirming that law enforcement officers may lawfully consider factors such as language, type of work, and ethnicity during immigration enforcement. The ruling validates the very methods that led to my wrongful contempt conviction, confirming that my crime-fighting actions were legal, constitutional, and grounded in common sense. He also didn't give them television and work them. My career spans more than 6 decades of service, from U.S. Army veteran to Drug Enforcement Administration regional director, to my 24-year tenure as sheriff of Maricopa County, one of the nation's largest jurisdictions. After taking office, President Donald Trump has made fighting illegal immigration and the drug problem a top priority with tremendous results. I predicted that one day the courts would confirm President Trump's and Arpaio's lawful actions. Today, that day has arrived. Okay? For a lot of people, folks, today happens. Right? Like we're seeing this progression, right? The deck was stacked against me from the beginning. In 2009, when Obama and Biden took office, they made me a prime target in their first 100 days report. It should be noted that in subsequent years, Obama and I have had a unique adversarial relationship. Let's just say I don't expect to ever receive a Christmas card from him. I have always maintained high professional, moral, and ethical standards throughout my lifetime. My enemies, even attempting to use fake evidence, could not bring me down. I have no skeletons rattling in my closet. This vindication makes me think of my supportive late wife of 62 years, Ava, who often recited to me what Jesus said in John 8:32. You will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. This, my friends, is great news. Congrats, Sheriff Joe. Awesome. That's big news, and that's a part of it. That's a part of righting the ship that we're on, folks. Is that it was listing and it was doing really badly, right? We were heading for major problems. And we are reversing that. Okay. This, let me do this here. This is the judge, and we're seeing these criminal judges as well, right? This is such a big part of it. We have to see the criminality in the justice system so that we know that we cannot trust them. Judge McConnell, he's the one that is trying to force President Trump to illegally fund the SNAP program. He donated $700,000 to Democrats. He runs nonprofit Crossroads, Rhode Island, that has received $128 million in government funding. After he tried to block the Doge cuts, he's basically a Dem activist. Okay. And so this is from C3, by the way, on X. Are we supposed to ignore the judge who blocked government funding cuts and is now trying to force SNAP payments, is involved in a nonprofit that has received $180 million in government funding and deals with SNAP, and he didn't feel the need to recuse himself? Corrupt. And here is the Crossroads, Rhode Island Chair Emeritus, the Honorable John J. Connell Jr., U.S. Courthouse. Okay. This is all a part of it, my friends. This is a part of the Great Awakening that is so very important. The TikTok takeover, I'm a little curious as to how that's going to play out, because listen to this this person here.
Why does Israel have the right to exist? Seriously, explain it to me like I'm 5. Why does Israel have the right to exist? The reason I'm asking this question is because every single politician at the local, state, and federal level that I've ever seen in a debate has been asked that question, and their answer has to be yes. Why? Why? I have no problem with Jewish people. I'm not anti-Semitic. I have no problem with the people of Israel or the people of Gaza. So when I see genocide being committed in that region against people that I have no problem with, when I see people talking about how they love cutting off the heads of babies, how they love shooting babies, how they love shooting people who are recovering bodies, how they love shooting people who are trying to get food, humanitarian aid in the middle of streets, how they want to bomb Gaza until all the people of Palestine are eradicated. I see people talking about how Israel already picks our politicians, and those are Israelis talking about all of these things. So my question is, without religious reasoning, without using any religious texts, tell me why they deserve to exist. Why is the answer to that question have to be yes? I just want to know. I'm genuinely asking. And repost this and comment if you're wondering why that answer has to be yes. Because I don't think it needs to be at this point.
It's a great question. It's a genuine question. It's a question that hasn't been really answered, and this is a part of the exposure, my friends. This great awakening that Q started is truly next level in terms of how everybody is waking up. Okay. This is so important for us to understand that once we're awake, how are we going to go back, right? How are we going to go back? I mean, once we're awake, there's no putting the cat back in the bag. Yeah. The game is tied at the top of the ninth, 4-4. The Dodgers just tied it up. It's a pretty exciting game. Possibly extra innings. We'll see. I think there's 2 outs with the Dodgers at the top of the ninth. Then the Blue Jays get a final turn, if you will. This from Black Betty on X. Dear American Snap participants, please enjoy your free 30-day trial of socialism. Do you enjoy waiting upon the government to eat? Take the initiative and grow your own shit. This is an important part of the awakening. How many illegal immigrants are on the system, right? And Shipwreck posted, if the average person, according to Google, pays $36 a year to the SNAP program, it takes 14 families a month to cover one person's monthly $50 food stamp haul of Doritos and Mountain Dew. 14 families. And Coca-Cola is seeing a huge dive in purchases because people were using SNAP programs to buy pop and crap food. So a lot of people are saying there should be, a law that says that that you got to buy single food items. Beer at the parade. Double meanings exist. Truth or media, do any of you agree that my theory might hold water? Snap trap. Make every single person re-enroll using a real ID card. Use Doge to check against existing data points, deny the cheaters, provide assistance to the needy only, and clean the entire system within mere days. Then expose all the cheaters, follow the stolen monies all the way to the top, and douche the entire system by next Friday. Taxpayers will go non-linear and demand similar processes implemented in all other programs. What say you, Anons? I think that's fantastic. I think that's what we're seeing. I think that the shutdown, this SNAP benefit shutdown and the government shutdown, I believe is a white hat script. I believe this is exactly what they wanted. By the way, let me show you a little bit of Owen Schroyer, who, by the way, I'm watching a little bit more now since he's left Alex Jones. Let me take you to his work here.
Isn't this a strange headline from IsraelNationNews.com? As the West dies, Israel's future lies with rising Asia. Wow. 77-year history of Israel's diplomatic alliances with the West appears to be ending. And increasingly, we see that we have disturbingly little in common with the dying West. So now they're going to try to be a parasite on Asia. Isn't that amazing? So the West was thriving, and then Israel becomes a leech on the West, sucks it dry, kills it, and says, oh, we've destroyed our host. It's time to find a new one. Isn't that amazing? What an admission. What an absolutely stunning admission. You killed the West, you sucked the West to death like a parasite, and now you're moving on to Asia. You know what? I don't think they want you. Isn't this?
Yeah, there you go. By the way, bottom of the ninth, tied up at 4-all, and I just keep checking on that for us here. And this is many of you have seen this. This is a reporter. This is shared by Red Pills, Joka Army, and who shares some great stuff. I recommend that. So check this out.
My name's Frankie Stocks. I'm a reporter with the Stu Peters Network. I would just love to ask you a quick question. I'm trying to ask every representative I can. That is, do you care more about the American people or Israel as a member of Congress?
I don't think they're mutually exclusive, Frankie.
Can you elaborate?
They're our best ally.
Are they? Who do you care about more, the United States or Israel? United States or Israel, sir? No answer? Should we put you down for Israel? Who do you care about more, the American people or Israel? It's an easy one. American people or Israel? You don't got to fake a phone call. American people or Israel? Who do you care about more, the American people or Israel? The American people or Israel, sir? Who do you care about more, the American people or Israel? No answer?
I think that Israel is one of our strongest allies in a part of the world where people are trying to harm us, and I think they need our support.
So should the U.S. continue funding Israel? Despite their links to the 9/11 or their attack on the USS Liberty? I mean, we have American citizens who are about to freeze to death in western North Carolina, and we're sending millions to Israel, so... Well, it is a comparison because the money's going out. It's all coming from the same people. It's coming from the taxpayers, sir. Who do you care about more, the American people or Israel? American people or Israel, sir? Sir, they're equal? Are you serving Israel or are you serving America?
I stand with Israel.
Okay, so can you answer the original question? Who do you care about more, U.S. or Israel?
There's no variance. It's like you're asking, do you love your wife more than your daughter?
Well, and you said it's a simple question.
It is.
Do you love your wife more than your daughter?
I love the
That's
United
not a
States
simple
more than I love
question.
Israel. Who's the priority when you're casting a vote in Congress, America or Israel? Well, it's a very simple question. You're not answering it, Representative. Who do you care about more, the American people or Israel? American people or Israel, sir? Who do you care about more, the American people or Israel? No answer? Who do you care about more, the American people or Israel? American people or Israel, sir? Who do you care about more, the American people or Israel? No answer?
And by the way, this is just AIPAC, folks. This isn't other Jewish organizations. It's not Jewish donors in general that are donating. And if you're concerned about your tax dollars and where those are going, let me share this brief video with you. Very, very important content here.
Manual, you'll see that it actually lays out that the jurisdiction, the reach, the ability of these IRS agents is limited to Americans who are living and working abroad, outside the country, not inside the country where you'd expect, because that's where we see them. They're on TV, they're out there doing their audits and investigations. And I thought, well, that couldn't possibly be true. So I went upstairs to the law library and flipped through the official Internal Revenue Manual that the IRS, keeps for their own lawyers and accountants. And there it was. In fact, I've got that on my website on the landing page, agentfortruth.com. These copies of the Internal Revenue Manual that I looked at and thought, wow, well, this isn't a lie. This is exactly as these people that the IRS called illegal tax protesters are saying, that the IRS's own admission in their own Bible, their own manual, says that their reach, their jurisdiction is limited to Americans living and working abroad.
And so the crux of her argument is that Americans that are not living abroad and are just living in the United States don't have to pay a federal income tax. Is that the heart of her claim?
Well, it's a pretty deep topic, I'm sure. We could really go into the weeds, and I know you don't have time to do that, but basically it centers on an absence of a liability statute. And what I mean by that is, if anyone can bear to go into the Internal Revenue Code, and I actually can show you why it'd be hard to bear.
Wow.
To go in. This is from 2012. But anyway, now with the internet, of course, you don't have to go and flip through pages. You can go and do word searches. But the IRS in the 1040 booklet, they display what's called the Privacy Act and Paperwork Reduction Act notice. And that's basically the notice to the public about what laws that are there that require you to do these things, for the IRS, give them tax returns. And the IRS's own admission in those statements, which are required by law, because you as an American are supposed to know what laws require you to do what things. So the IRS spells out, and again, this is on my website, that you must give us a return or statement for any tax you are liable for, any tax you are required to pay. And the courts have ruled that, well, you have to be able to be the person responsible for paying a particular tax. So in the law, there's a person or a party that's required to pay a liquor tax, a tobacco tax, the papers that go around a cigarette, there's a tax on that. There are all kinds of excise taxes that are and income tax that are required to be paid, but there's a person who's made liable, who's designated as the responsible party to pay it. And so it's not, people might think it's an oversight, but how could it be an oversight that the average American living and working in the United States is not made liable to pay the federal income tax.
So it literally says in the code that as an American, you are not liable for paying federal income tax.
Well, it's absent. In other words, all of these other parties are made liable, but you'd think, job one would be to make the average American liable to pay it. And again, I don't want to keep pointing to the website, but it's just, free information as a way that people can check into what I'm saying. And as I said to you earlier, offline, I'm not a Pied Piper trying to get people to, get into a battle with an 800-pound gorilla. I just, got my story where I came across this information. I took an oath to support and defend the Constitution. I was very mindful of that oath throughout my service. And, I confronted my IRS supervisors. Confronted probably isn't even the right term. I approached them. They all took the same oath that I did. As bitter a pill as it would be to swallow, I just wanted them to look at my analysis.
Yeah, very interesting. And we've heard a lot of that over the years, and that's all going to change. Trump is talking about the External Revenue Service taking out the IRS, and kind of doing away with Congress. Check this out from Script Keeper. Actually, let me do this. He reposted this here.
Why Republicans have no intention of opening up the government again.
And it really covers everything. The great, big, beautiful bill. We got everything done. I said, let's get it all done. A lot of people want to do it little small pieces, like 9 of them, 12 of them. I said, put it all into one bill, and if we get it done, we're done for 4 years. We don't need anything more from Congress in terms of that, right, Scott? We got it all done. It was a little risky, but because if we didn't get it done, I don't know, who knows what would happen with these radical left lunatics that we have to deal with. But we got it all done, and now we're set, and you're set.
He literally just said it out loud that he doesn't need Congress for 4 more years. They signed the big, beautiful bill. It's everything he wanted in one bill, and now he has no use for Congress at all. Mike Johnson will never open Congress for the remainder of Trump's presidency. They've done what they wanted to do. They're not going to do anything else. Our Congress is officially useless for the next 4 years. He just said it. I'm about to.
What do you all think of that? And also, what's very interesting is how many in Congress, both WikiLeaks and Q. WikiLeaks said 99% of DC would fall, Q said 70% of Congress. So it's going to be a big, big problem. Thank you, Linda Moon and David Buchanan, for jumping on the match. Kevin said he would match up to $250. Anybody that wants to do a $10 donation. So thank you, Kevin, for that. Thank you for those who are, going on Zelle or GiveSendGo, or going on snedheads.com and going to Donation Nation, which is also a very, let me see if I have this, and I'm going to drop the donation link that you can go straight to. By the way, Toronto has 2 men on with 1 out in the bottom of the 9th inning, and Dodgers just replaced the pitcher, so it's getting interesting there. Yeah, Congress is useless, Fawn. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this is interesting. Yeah, and the Fed, I think, will go down too when he fires Jerome Too Late Powell. Yep, yep. Weed is cheaper than tobacco now. Yeah, no kidding. And by the way, drinking has gone way down as well, because I think a lot of people are choosing cannabis, a cannabis buzz over the rest of it. Let me see. What else did I want to share with you? Oh, this is, I found this regarding the SNAP programs. This is gold. I think we've heard this before. I think I've shared this before, but it's really, really timely right now.
The food stamps program is administered by the U.S. Department of Agriculture. They proudly report that they distribute free meals and food stamps to 46 million people on an annual basis. Meanwhile, the National Park Service, ran by the U.S. Department of Interior, ask us to please do not feed the animals when we visit the parks. Their stated reason for this policy is being that the animals will grow accustomed and dependent on the handouts, and they will never learn to take care of themselves. The food stamps program is administered by the U.S. Department of Agriculture. They proudly report that they distribute free meals and food stamps to 46 million people on an annual basis. Meanwhile, the National Park Service, ran by the U.S. Department.
Sorry to run that twice. I think the Blue Jays may have just scored. Let me play this for all of you who don't care. I don't really care, but it's kind of a big deal. Here we go.
And I think that, frankly, I wouldn't be surprised if me and Trump won just the normal gay guy vote. What? Because, again, they just wanted to be left the hell alone.
You're safe, Jeffrey. He's not talking about you. I think he's talking about me, well, normal gay girl, and other people like me. You know, the LGB part. Because the LGB part is tired of y'all in the TIAQXYZ. Because about 2015, we got marriage rights. That was all we needed. That is all we needed for equality. People were dancing in the streets. We were excited. And no one gave a shit about us. It's only been about the last 5 years that people have given a giant shit about us, and homophobia is on the rise. People don't like us again. Why is that? What changed? Do you think that people just woke up one day and became more cruel? No. People like you, Jeffrey, and the rest of the TIAQXYZ came out and said, cool, now we're going to involve children. Cool, now we're going to have our teachers teach woke gender ideology, and you have to be okay with it. Cool, now we're going to push for children to be able to reassign their gender, and you just have to accept it. The world is not accepting of it. The world is accepting of the LGB, and even some of the T, if you want to mind your business as an adult, not push those ideas on anyone else, and just be a person, like everyone else. That is what the world accepts. But this new woke ideology y'all have going on when, you know, remember when that trans person went to Disney and talked about his jingle balls in front of children? Yeah, that's what people aren't cool with. So look around, because JD is right. The gays are turning red. Look on just this platform how many gay people are voting red for the first time. Because y'all, we are tired. You guys ruined it for us.
Yeah, that's what I've been saying for quite a while. By the way, close play at the plate, a forced out for the second out, and then the guy who's batting 400 just popped to center field to end the ninth inning as a tie, so they go into extra innings. Very exciting game. Very exciting. So my friends, let me take you to I've been saying that for a while. It's like here's what's important to understand, is that it's so important to understand this. All of this LGBTQ plus XYZ, as she said, the intention of that, the gender dysphoria, the gender confusion, all of this was not meant to be more inclusive. It was meant to divide us even further. Because those of us who, love our gay brothers and sisters, and hey, you love who you want. Not my business, whether it's biblical, whether it's religious, whether it's again, that's a form of genocide. Those people do not reproduce at the level that we are meant to keep our civilization alive. That's a problem. And the gender dysphoria has taken that to another level. So not only is it meant to cull the population, slow the population growth, but it's also meant to divide us even further, because those of us who were very open and welcoming to our gay brothers and sisters, it's not okay. The stuff that they're pushing on us, and therefore that pushes us further away from them. This I did not know. Q-Mom said pedophile Jimmy Savile with a young boy. That boy was Keir Starmer. This is kind of trippy. Now, I don't know for a fact if that is. I don't normally go off pictures, but it's worth looking into. And Jimmy Savile was, of course, a serial pedophile that was never brought to justice in the UK. And this is the picture that they're putting up to suggest that Keir Starmer, who is a huge problem, a huge globalist, that he is definitely not the person that you want leading your country. This was also Red Pill's Joke Army. This is what's going on in Tanzania. This guy kind of hacks up the verbiage of that, but an important thing to see. Here we go.
This right here is truly inspirational. Have you seen the footage that is coming out of Tanzania right now? This is the people of Tanzania storming the airport to stop the elites from leaving the country after the election. Ultimately, the people of Tanzania right now have reached breaking point, and this is what it looks like when a nation refuses to be controlled. So what are we actually witnessing here? Well, Tanzania has just had one of the most controversial elections in modern history. An election where major opposition voices were silenced, where the playing field wasn't just uneven, it was bulldozed. And then magically, the government announced that they had a 98% victory. 98%. You don't even get 98% of the people to agree on what colour the sky is, never mind a national vote. So it is absolutely safe to say that the people of Tanzania saw it for what it is, a facade of democracy, not the reality of what this actually is. And they did what the people do when they have had enough. They stand up, they fill the streets, and they refused to be quiet. And what did the government do? They responded with power. Curfews, roadblocks, armed forces, internet shutdowns, complete information blackout. Because when you fear the truth, you silence the world. This is a nation that is desperately trying to be heard. This isn't chaos. This is courage. This is what happens when the human spirit refuses to bow to corruption. This is honestly truly inspirational, you know. The Brits should take note of this. This is real emotion, the real uprising of awakened souls. The airports are locked down, the government is scrambling, and people are pushing back against power at every single exit. Listen, this is truly inspirational. When rulers panic, the people rise, you know. When truth erupts, the control crumbles. And listen, beautiful people, this isn't just Tanzania, no. This is a snapshot of a global moment, a world where systems are cracking and narratives are completely breaking. The people of the world are remembering how powerful they are when they stand together, you know. We're seeing it everywhere. Political unrest, economic pressures, systems failing, and communities are totally waking up. Not chaos, absolute correction, you know. This is humanity remembering itself. And if you're watching this thinking, whoa, something big is happening, you are right, beautiful people. This is the beginning. So yeah, the beautiful people of Tanzania, we see you, we hear you, and whether the cameras are rolling or not, the world is listening right now, because freedom isn't given, it's claimed. And remember, beautiful people, for the censored reasons, this was all just for entertainment, and I'm as fictional as a dinosaur, baby.
Beautiful. You know, folks, this is we're seeing what the results are of an awakening.
This right here,
and it's pretty enormous. We're gonna see more of that kind of behavior, and also see how the governments respond to these people is going to be very important as well. And yeah, just absolutely fabulous that we're seeing people waking up like we are. This is I want to show you this. This is also from Joka's Army. Again, please go give Joka Army a follow. We follow each other. He does a lot of work with Scriptkeeper. Always has some really, really great posts. This is about the Charlie Kirk thing. This is very interesting. Hunter Kozak, who was the last guy to ask Charlie Kirk.
So can anybody explain to me why this young man that was standing in front of Charlie Kirk is practicing being outraged at seeing Charlie Kirk get shot or assassinated or whatever before he even arrives at the event?
Do you know how many mass shooters there have been in America over the last 10 years? Counting or not counting gang violence?
This young man's name is Hunter Kozak, and for some reason, he was seen practicing being horrified by something. And then next thing you know, something horrifying happened 15 minutes later. So I want to ask you, do you think this was a coincidence? And if not, why would somebody be in the crowd practicing being horrified, and then out of nowhere, something horrifying happened, like he knew it was about to happen? So how do you think he did? Did he do a good job?
Steve Kozak, the father of Hunter Kozak, has been working for Jimmy Kimmel for years. What are the chances that Hunter Kozak asks Charlie Kirk a very ironic question right before Charlie Kirk's life is taken in front of a live audience full of thousands of people? Jimmy Kimmel then gets brought into this by the media, simultaneously dogpiling on him and making him the scapegoat because of his monologue. And then it turns out that one of the higher-ups at Jimmy Kimmel's show is the father of the last person to speak to Charlie Kirk.
Yeah, that's funny.
That's weird. You can't make this up, especially when you consider all of the other shady things that are going on with this case. It really makes you wonder.
One of these. We had a mandatory, regularly scheduled all-staff HR meeting on Zoom. They did it on Zoom, and this is the Zoom. And if you look closely, you can see Guillermo zoom in on that on the Zoom.
Yours was the last question that Charlie Kirk ever heard.
Yeah, there's a strange amount of weight to that. I don't really know how to grapple with that. I mean, he's answered tens of thousands of questions, and that was the first question I've ever asked him. We never talked before that.
Man, Hunter Kozak, I believe, was also searched by a URL in Israel. I'm forgetting the gentleman's name right now, but I showed his work. Maybe on Monday I'll bring him back up. So all these things very suspicious. And again, my friends, and I've said from day one of Charlie's assassination, who benefits? Okay, who benefits? The biggest beneficiary of Charlie's death or execution is not the trans movement, because now the administration's going after all that funding and finding out Soros related to all that. Okay, it wasn't Israel, because if Israel did take him out, it has backfired on Israel, because people suspect them far more than they suspect Taylor Robinson. Okay, and but the real beneficiary of this is the MAGA movement. And with all respect to Charlie and the work that he did, this is allowing the final two sides of the triangle to be taken down. It's Saudi Arabia, then Soros, and then the Rothschilds, which is Israel. Okay, those are being taken down now because of what happened with Charlie. And so this narrative, none of it makes sense. And there's not enough of us that are asking the right questions, right? And we need to ask the right questions. This is something I saw today. I really was looking forward to sharing with you, because I know a lot of us have dealt with some depression during this time, losing friends, losing family, being ostracized. This was a very powerful display here. Check this out.
I'm going to show you how this trick works. I'm going to show you the way that this trick works is the same way that depression works. I'm going to do this trick, and I'm going to show you how it works, because I want to show you how our brains actually can believe lies and fill in information. Okay. So you're going to take a card, any card that you want. All right. Yep. Got it. Cool. Boom. We're going to take your card. We're going to place it genuinely into the middle of the deck, right? And I want you to imagine your card somewhere in the middle starts to rise up. Okay. But what it does is as it rises up, it flips over and then goes back into its place, right? If that happened, that would mean we just put your card in, I put your card in the middle, your card in here. There's one card face up, right? Did you see your card flip over? No. I'm going to show you how this trick works. I'm going to show you the way that this trick works is the same way that depression works. You have your card. Yeah. That means there are 51 cards left that I'm still holding, 52 cards in the deck. Right. Richard, what do you see right now?
I see my card, and I see the deck face down.
Okay, you see a deck of cards.
Yep.
A normal deck of cards. And you just said face down. Yeah. Okay, so you see your card face up. Yep. You see this deck face down. Yeah. That's not what you see. It's what your brain tells you see. What you think you see right now is not what you actually see. And again, I'm going to show you how this trick works so that you can understand what I'm saying. What you see right now is you see one face down card, right? And because this card is face down, you believe that now this card is face down, and this card is face down, and this card is face down, this card is face down, this card is face down. You believe that all these cards are face down, right? Preach. Now listen, this is what I'm saying about depression. Depression, we take an observation, right? We take one thing that we've seen, right? Someone rejected us. My mom left me. My husband left me. My wife left my whatever it is. We've experienced some sort of rejection, okay? Somebody rejected me. Now, because of that, we've just filled in the blank. Dude, you saw one card face down. Your mind just made up 50 other lies, right? Good. Your mind lied to you 50 times because of one thing that you saw. Meaning, when you say, oh, this one person left me, what we conclude is I'm no longer loved. I'm no longer cared about.
That's good.
I can't trust anybody. All of these wrong conclusions, right? I have nobody. I have nowhere to turn. I don't have the strength. I'm unseen. I'm unnoticed. I'm unappreciated. Keep your guard up. Don't trust him. Don't trust her. 50 other lies because of one thing that you saw.
Wow. Wow. Pretty powerful, wouldn't you say, folks? Oftentimes the depression we experience is we're replaying all these things and then taking them over to other areas of our life. So I hope that was helpful for you all, because I found it to be really, really powerful and so very important. I want to share, first of all, a few things. I want to thank Joyce Kettner for your $25 donation. Joyce, thank you very much. I want to thank Natalie Fleming for your $10 donation. I want to thank Top Jake, showed up with $100. Patricia Thomason, thank you, Patricia. That's amazing. Let's see. Somebody anonymous with a $50 donation. No, that's incomplete. Okay, that didn't go through. That might have been Top Jake, or maybe one of the others. The $17.17 from Turber. Thank you, Turber. Some of these don't come through with everything. Caroline Munden, $17. Thank you, Caroline, very much for your donations. And also I want to say thanks to Greg Cowie. Hi, Dave. Please find my donation of $25. Hope I can get on the next wheel. If I win, I'd like to donate the membership to someone who would appreciate it. Cheers, mate. Greg from Down Under. Thank you, Greg, for your $25. Joy E107. Thank you, Dave, for all you do. $20 donation. Bridget Graham, $50. Thank you, Bridget. Appreciate everything you do, Dave. Cocktail Slipper, $15. So very happy your channel has been restored. Thank you very much for that. Folks, thank you, Kevin, for getting the ball rolling tonight. This is just extremely uplifting for me, and very, very powerful to be getting this love in the form that is really, really helpful to me. I can't thank you all enough for stepping up to match Kevin's $10 match up to $250. Very, very much appreciate that. So your donations are basically double. So thanks to Kevin. Kevin shared tonight with us this post from Dan Scavino on Truth Social. Let me bring that up for you. Welcome to the White House. Okay, this is Dan. We're Democrats in the House and Senate. We love DEI, transgender for everyone, healthcare for illegals. Let me go back here. And shutting down the government. We couldn't care less if our military gets paid or American safety. Dan dropped that at 8:50, 9:50 on the East Coast. So let's go to the Q drop. And by the way, guys, if you go to Snedheads and you go down to the research the Q drops, it'll take you right to Q alerts. You can choose one of the three, and then you can just type in 950. We drop the 0, so we go to 95, and also Think Mirror to 59. And I'm sorry, my keyboard is not working, so I've got to do it here. 950, 95, and 59. Let me take us to those first. Let me do that again. Here we go. Into the Q drops, my friends. Let's start with 950. Trust the plan, full control. Central Intelligence Agency, U.S. Department of State. Pompeo is Trump's guy as head of CIA, gather intel on all the shady CIA shit we've done both here and overseas. Moves the State Department to use that intel to help free the world from the CIA bullshit, right? And of course, Rubio's doing a great job. Tulsi's doing a great job at DNI. And then Q says, trust Kansas, which has been kind of a question for all of us because of what we've seen Pompeo do. He's doubling down on Israel. I think that's part of the movie. 95. Let's go to 59 first. How did Saudi Arabia welcome POTUS during his trip? Why was this historic and not covered by the mainstream media? By the way, this last tour to Asia was the second capitulation tour. That's why they treated him all like a king, okay, everywhere he went. How did Saudi Arabia welcome Barack Obama and HRC during their trip? They didn't meet him at the airport. Why is this relevant? Not suggesting Saudi Arabia is clean by any means, but they play a role in this global game of risk. That's the first side of the triangle that Q told us fell during the purge after Trump saved bin Salman's life in Las Vegas. The greatest mass shooting in the history of the United States, my friends, was very clearly an assassination attempt on Mohammed bin Salman by Prince Al-Walid and the deep state. And Trump loaned the military to bin Salman for that purge. Okay. The questions provide answers. Remember, information is everything. The flow of information is no longer controlled by the MSM, but by you and others, us. We control the flow of information. This is why it's so important to understand we're already winning just with our awareness, just with our great awakening. Hence why we are dedicating critical time to distribute crumbs, which can be followed in greater detail to paint the entire picture once more information is released. Why has POTUS dedicated so much time into labeling the MSM as fake news, the mainstream media? My friends, that's the only reason they're in the White House. Every day he calls one of them out as fake news, folks. That's because the mainstream people, remember, we've done a lot of stuff on predictive programming and how it's necessary for the human mind to see things before they actually happen, maybe in a movie, a TV show, a commercial, a magazine article, what have you, magazine cover, like The Economist and things like that. That peppers our mind to prepare us for what is coming. It builds, creates synapses in our brain. This is what the white hats are doing. This is what they did with Q. This is what they're doing now with all this alternative stuff. My X feed is full of pro-Israel and Democrat propaganda. And I think that's a part of the script too, because if you look at the comments on Chuck Schumer, Pelosi, Gavin Newsom, Jasmine Crockett, all these ridiculous Dems, Hakeem Jeffries, you see people absolutely burying them. Gavin Newsom did a post about, the big party they had at the White House last night and saying this is like the work of a king. He doesn't care about you, the people. And everybody just destroyed him and put up pictures of him at the French Laundry when everybody was locked down in California, couldn't go to a restaurant, and he was without masks. His whole party was without masks, and he was forcing people in California to wear masks. I mean, it was just, so we're destroying them. Why is this relevant? We are fully prepared that all social media will be shut down to prevent the spread of this information, i.e. POTUS's Twitter, et cetera, and or mass censoring. Sealed federal orders, pre-submitted sealed federal orders. Remember, folks, we have 550,000 sealed indictments. The work has already been done. And masked as in general, though that does not account for rogue agents, programmers within. Days and pending actions are deliberately provided for the authenticity. Alice in Wonderland. Okay. Now, we've talked about the net shutdown. A lot of people use the net for their business, for their livelihood, to order their medications and so forth. So when they talk about the net shutdown, they've mentioned Google kill, Twitter kill, TikTok kill, it's Facebook kill, right? They haven't talked about Snedheads kill. I think we'll fly under the radar. So that's another reason why I want you to join Snedheads. Again, it's free to join. I ask for your support while you're over there, but it is free to join. Snedheads.com, and you can see everything on there. You have to pay to post, and that's going to keep the assholes out. We're not going to have bots in there. Your information isn't going to be shared with anybody like all these other platforms do to make money off you. So it's a small town, a small community. Everyone's your friend. People are putting their real faces up. You got to put in your phone number. That's to keep you with one account. But I'm the only one that gets that information. Okay. So it's private, it's secure, it's small town, it's accountability. And I believe it's the way forward on the internet. 95, think mirror. What happened in Saudi Arabia will happen here, Asia and EU. Do you think these two are related? Huh? Keep digging and keep organizing the info into graphics. Critical. God bless. Hillary and Saudi Arabia, Snow White, Godfather 3. Hillary in Saudi Arabia is Alice in Wonderland. Okay? This is very, very, very important. What's going on here, and it's much more. It's much more than even we can imagine. What's going on behind the scenes, my friends, is so good. This is hilarious. Kevin just shared this on Snedheads. Jasper thinks Dave talks to himself. I love that, brother. And by the way, Kevin and his wife Najwan they sent me some beautiful stuff in a package, a care package. You wouldn't believe it. Just amazing stuff for Jasper, amazing stuff for me. I'm sitting, my friends, on a vibrating seat that they sent me, which is awesome. Heather posted, if the kindest souls were rewarded with the longest lives, dogs would outlive us all. I agree. Carl Strong in the house, dropping some good stuff here, folks. Oh my God. Oh my God. That's hilarious. So please get on over to Snedheads, folks, and find your home. Listen, the last thing you need is another social media platform that you got to put your information in. But I'll tell you this, I could have made it really easy. You could sign up as Google, as YouTube, or whatever. I didn't do any of that because they would know where you go. They would track you to where you go, and I didn't want that. So even that sign in is secure as well. And if you get on there and you want to upgrade to a paid membership, this is really important here. You go down to upgrade to Snedheads Plus. Don't subscribe until you go up and you add funds up here. When you add funds, this takes you to here. Go down to securely save your card for seamless payments. Put in your card number, your expiration, your CVC, and then after you put in the $17 per month, or you put in, or just put in, it'll take $1 automatically to secure your card, but then it'll charge you $17 for the month. Okay. But you don't have to put anything in, just put in your card, then go back to upgrade Snedheads Plus, and then do the monthly or the yearly. Okay. And it'll automatically deduct it from your card. Okay. So that's how you do that. So you have to go up here to add funds before you subscribe. Okay. And again, it's free if you don't have the money to join this. But yeah, the last thing you need is another social media platform. But I'm telling you, folks, if you're tired of this shit you see on Facebook, I every time I go on Facebook, it's like there's some pornographic image in my up on the shorts. You know, they have that what do you call it? You know, different things that are up there that are absolutely nasty to look at. Like, I don't want to look at somebody's toe fungus. I don't want to look at somebody's overweight. I don't want to look at, you know, these ugly images. We've got to protect our mind. And you're going to get great stuff on snedheads.com. So please join us over there, my friends. You'll be glad you did. I promise you. It's great stuff. So Dan's post, very, very interesting. Okay. Let's also go to President Trump's post at 8:46 this evening. And let me pull that up. But also, we do the capital letter count, because President Trump often puts capital letters that don't match, you know, what should actually be there, right? So what we do is we go back to Snedheads, we go research the Q drops, we go to capital letter counter, and then we paste it in the capital letter counter, and there's 25 capital letters, right? So 25. So we'll go back to, I'm sorry, we go to the capital letter counter on Snedheads. We click on that. It then takes us to this. We post that in, and then you're able to see the capital letters. So this website, the snedheads.com, is also for you to be able to do easy research as well. That's what it's been designed as. That's always been my goal, is to have that for you. So let's go to 8:46, and we'll also go to 8:46. We'll also go to 25 and 52, and see if President Trump is sending us another message. 8:46 is North Korea, calm waters. Water, why is this event big? What does it signify? Why is North Korea out of the news as the world turns? And North Korea has been out of the news recently because North Korea was CIA controlled when it was, you know, really heavy waters with Clinton and company. And now it's calm, right? 25. Follow up to last post, return to comments regarding Pelosi and John McCain. Some of us refuse to say his name for a reason. This all has meaning, everything stated, big picture stuff. Few positions allow for this direct knowledge. Proof to begin 11/3. This is the first. We got 2 days if it's a date, but we've also taken you to the Law of War manual, where 11/3 is about occupation, foreign occupation. We all sincerely appreciate the work you do. Keep up the good fight. The flow of information is vital. God bless. That was directly, we were pointed there from President Trump's capital letter count. Also 52, Think Mirror, review Barack Obama's financial disclosure when he submitted pre-Democrat election campaign. What is the annual salary of a sitting U.S. president? What homes were just purchased by Barack Obama? How much did it cost? How does it reconcile? Pelosi's net worth, John M. Institute. Notice any patterns relating to the Clinton Foundation. Where did John McCain obtain his surgery? Why is that relevant? What surgery did he supposedly have? Brain surgery. How many days until he was back in Congress and sitting in the Oversight Committee? It was very quick. And remember, he was the final vote that allowed Obamacare, which President Trump is criticizing. In that post. What is John M's net worth? How does it reconcile? What is Maxine Waters' net worth? How does it reconcile? You can play this game with mostly Dems and many Republicans. What does swamp refer to? What does money buy? Alice in Wonderland. Again, another Alice in Wonderland, right? And then back to President Trump's post, folks. He flat out said Obamacare is a disaster. Okay. That was John McCain coming back, was the deciding vote on Obamacare. They wouldn't have gotten it if it wasn't for John McCain. This is very, very, very important. Okay. Unbelievable. Yeah, some great stuff, folks. This is President Trump's post. He did this one just at 5:47 p.m. Remember, Republicans, regardless of the Schumer shutdown, the Democrats will terminate the filibuster the first chance they get. They will pack the Supreme Court, pick up 2 states, and add at least 8 electoral votes. Their 2 objectors are gone. Don't be weak and stupid. Fight, fight, fight. Win, win, win. We will immediately end the extortionist shutdown, get all of our agenda passed, and make life so good for Americans that these deranged Democrat politicians will never again have the chance to destroy America. Republicans, you will rue the day that you didn't terminate the filibuster. Be tough, be smart, and win. This is much bigger than the shutdown. This is the survival of our country. And again, we'll go back. And by the way, any of these things that you open up on Snedheads, they go to a new tab so that you can just go back to that tab. And this is number of capital letters, 138. The post was at 547. So let's go to 138 and 547. Boom. And we have 847. This is the Pope kissing the hand of, these are Holocaust survivors. Also takes us to 31. You know how we do that when the ID is zeros. Okay. So we'll go to 31. And then 138 goes to the central banks of the world, all controlled by the Rothschilds. Now, many think that this is the Pope kissing the hand of the Rothschild. That does happen, okay? But these, from what my understanding, were supposed Holocaust survivors. But a lot of people mix these two and think, okay, Rothschild, Rothschild, that's one side of the triangle. Let's go to the 31 and see what 31 has for us. World stalemate. Check this out. I'll be right back. The LA Dodgers just won the World Series, my friends. They're second in a row. Second time they've done that. They just went to a shot of Anthony Robbins, who Moonbeam and I were just talking about earlier today. He's got some fabulous stuff, and he's there at the game. So world stalemate, we have all the goods on everyone else. That's part of the reason why some things that tie back to foreign heads of state will remain classified, not all. We are in one of the most critical times of our country. Trump and others are working to balance the we're doing well for America for the common person who endures, while at the same time purify our government and remove the bad actors who are entrenched. There is so much string pulling and blackmail that we need to cut these off to truly gain the power granted to us by the patriots and hardworking people of this great country. My friends, they're still talking to us. Do you get that, right? They're still talking to us. They're still bringing up these things. They're still coming to us with these amazing things, with these amazing comms going back into you know, the comms going back into the Q drops, and they've been doing this all along to keep us like really kind of dialed into like, yes, this is good. This is the way we should be. Erica Van Kirk, thank you for your $5 donation. Very much appreciated. Folks, again, it can be any amount, and I'm so thankful for all these beautiful donations that you're chipping in on. It makes a big difference in my life. I'll tell you, I'm 1,400 shows in, and you know, I still rent. I still drive an old car that's not paid for. I still am month to month. I have not gotten rich off this movement. It has never been my intention. I have had businesses that made a lot of money. I've had movies that have made money. I played, you know, pro basketball, made some good money. I have a lot of things I could be doing to be making really good money. Sales I've done, raised money for companies, made, you know, a lot of good money where I wasn't worried about my monthly bills. And, but this is not one of those things. And I took this revolution very seriously. And so for those of you who have pitched in and helped support this show, I will always be eternally grateful for putting me up on this wall and supporting me and helping me to you know, make sure that we see things like these kind of comms that are happening, that we see them and that we know, okay, wait a minute, maybe President Trump is talking directly to us. Maybe this is something that we really should pay attention to, because the mainstream media is not going to tell us. These what do you call it? Some of these influencers are not going to tell us. So how are we going to find this out? Well, we're not going to find it out from the people, and I just dropped the donation link in the chat. We're not going to find out these things from the people that are getting paid $7,000 a post from Israel. We're not going to find out these things. We're not going to find out these things that never lost an account on YouTube. We're not going to find out these things from you know, people that are, you know, being paid big bucks to do what they're doing. It's not going to happen, right? Yeah, I don't think I played this for you yet. No, I did not, but I'm going to play this for you, because this is the title of the show tonight was the SNAP benefits. And this kind of nails it. And I talked about this last night as well.
42 million people losing their SNAPs come November 1st.
Hold on.
42 million people losing their SNAP benefits come November 1st. And then when I look at the numbers of the amount of people and where they're from, I'm going to say this is a much needed process, bruh. Because you're telling me of the 42 million people, only like 30% of that 42 million are actually Americans? And I mean 30% of the 42 million are actually Americans who were born here, who are disabled, who are veterans, who are actually people who literally and actually need this assistance. Because if I'm looking at this report that says 51% of the total number of people that are receiving these SNAP benefits are purely because of their religious beliefs, meaning these people are Muslims or from the Islamic religion, Islamic countries. They're from Pakistan, Afghanistan, Somalia,
these places, and they are receiving these benefits purely because, for one, their women aren't allowed to work. Their women are allowed to have multiple children. They are 100% supposed to be home to cherish and nurture their children. Their husbands are allowed to have multiple wives, and with those multiple wives having multiple children, meaning they're getting multiple thousands of dollars per month. And if you think about it, it makes total sense why the Americans that are getting the pocket change, who are not having kids, and even if they're having kids, they got like 2-3 kids, and then their 2-3 kids are disabled, right? And then they're the ones making all the noise because they're getting pocket change, when these people from the Islamic countries are getting thousands and thousands of dollars, and they're in a household with 3 other women that are filing for these benefits as head of the household. So in the one house, there are 4 wives getting like 4 or 5 grand a pop because they have like 4 or 5 kids a pop, right? And their husbands are just going out to these meetings trying to convert more people. But at the end of the day, they're getting like $15,000-$20,000 a month for the one household. And who knows how many bank accounts they have. No wonder when I see these people going out on vacation, they're just so comfortable. And it's like irritating, but at the end of the day, this shit needs to stop, because a lot of these people came here, right? They came here seeking better, but then they came here to live the same way and the same rules, live by the same rules that made their country turn into shit in the first place. And it's not just the Islamic people, because there are a lot that are from the Caribbean, who are doing the same shit. And like I said, it is wild to me, because they came here to seek better, but their version of better is to come here and lay up under these roofs and make these babies and live off of hardworking taxpayers. The crazy, crazy part is the loud ones are the ones benefiting or getting the least of the benefits that are being handed out. This is fucking crazy.
If we weren't experiencing what we're experiencing with these SNAP benefits and this government shutdown, would we know this? Do you understand how important it is that we're seeing this unfold the way we're seeing it unfold? Okay. Do you understand how important it was that you didn't see arrests a year ago before we saw the things we're seeing right now? What is being done, in my opinion, in the opinion of Q, in the opinion of Anons, is that generations and generations of Americans and people around the world have been brainwashed, indoctrinated at a level that is insurmountable. If you live in the world, if you live in the matrix, how do you escape all this information coming from all these different directions that is all coordinated in order to direct us toward a certain way of thinking, a certain way of living? In what world does it make sense that you and I work, we pay taxes, and those taxes go towards people that don't work, that are able to work? No, disability, no handicap. I'm not talking about those people. We must take care of the people that are struggling with their bodies, with their minds, with money. These types of things are a leg up. but just like that, the gentleman that told the story about how you don't feed the wild animals in the national parks, is because they become dependent on it, and then they don't get the food themselves. I feed the deer here at my house, but I don't feed them every single day. I feed them when I want to see them and connect, and I don't give them a full meal so they can bounce around to different places, and sometimes they're out there just eating the leaves and eating the plants. But this is what's happened with these SNAP benefits. And so without this government shutdown, look at it, go on X, go on some of the social media, look at the things people are saying about SNAP and how many Americans are actually on SNAP versus non-US citizens. And where do these people, come from, like this gentleman was talking about. I want to thank you all on X. We are number 5 live on X right now. We're right down here. It's number 6 total, but InfoWars and Alex Jones are kind of the same, but they have 2 different accounts, and they're always up in the, almost 500,000 or 400,000. John B. Wells, Amuse, GB News, and then David Snedeker. So thank you for making us number 6 or number 5, depending on how you want to look at it on X. I'm very grateful for your viewership. I'm very grateful for your donations, my friends. Here's the thing. We have to break our addiction to free, because that's how they get us. They get us on YouTube. They get us on Facebook. They get us on, and this is a part of the matrix that we have to escape. And the only way to escape that is find somebody that you really admire, find somebody that you're really gaining great value from, and support them, whoever that is. Support that. Put your money in the direction you want it to go. Put your money towards the kind of information that you want to receive. The information that I have always provided here is there are facts and there are speculation. Let's make very clear what is which, and let's analyze, ask questions, look deeper, and try to find the truth amidst all of the, indoctrination, brainwashing, manipulation of our minds, which is happening more and more. By the way, your personal information is even more important on a daily basis to protect. Now that we have AI, they're plugging all your personal information into AI and saying, how do we get money from this person? How do we market to them? How do we sell their information to get more money, etc.? None of that would happen on Snedheads. And so I believe this is the future of social media is, put your face up, put your picture up, put your name up, your real name. This is a platform of accountability where you can do that because your information isn't being shared like crazy, but they know who you are. They have your URL. They know where you live. They know where you work. They know all this about you already, but nobody will be getting that information on Snedheads. I've had 660 people's, phone numbers, emails, and haven't sent out a single, email or text to, get you to vote, get you to send money or anything like that. I do have the old mailing list that I send out to once in a while, but not the Snedhead stuff. And that will be treated with a great deal of respect, as I have shown my audience over all these years. With, by the way, which sometimes is some hard love, sometimes it's some soft love, but I love you. I do this because it's my calling, my mission. Thank you for supporting my mission. Thank you for being here tonight. I'm in at 3.5 hours on a Saturday night. I'll be off tomorrow night. I'll be back on Monday at 8 Central Daylight. Actually, it'll be Central Standard Time by then, don't forget to turn your clocks back tonight. If you have anything important in the morning to attend, I want to thank you, Kevin Rotello and Najwan for putting up that match tonight. Oftentimes the match kind of spurs the giving. We may have a wheel spin Monday or Tuesday night, and that will be for a free 1-year subscription to snedheads.com. and a free t-shirt. So, and if you want to get some Sned gear, please go to the Sned shop and check that out. That is right here, snedshop.myshopify.com. Thank you, everyone, for joining me tonight, and you're welcome for those of you who are thanking me for the work that I've done over the years and continue to do. I want to honor that as best I can with the work that I do, and I hope that I am doing that for you still. I'm excited to get our YouTubers back, so welcome back to the YouTubers. I've missed you, and the Sned Shed is open, and it has been. Unfortunately, only Rumble and X were allowing me to do my show, and so that's where I've been, doing the show for the past 3 years on Rumble and X, and over, I think somebody said over 590, was it, or 540 shows are on Rumble right now. Since I've been booted off my final YouTube platform. So thanks for being here, everybody. Congratulations to the Dodgers. God bless you all. I hope that you have a wonderful Sunday, and may God keep you protected, Dave. Thank you, Dee. I appreciate you. Yeah, there's a lot of snap fraud, my friends, and that's what's being exposed. All right. Be well, my friends, and I will see you Monday night. Good night. Thank you to Moonbeam. Thank you to Quasi Pete for really keeping just so much love and holding such a great space in the chat for everybody to be themselves and to, interact. Those are my bouncers, my friends. Throwing a party and you're welcome, but all you got to do is open your mind and be kind. Much love. Good night.